The discovery, first the reproduction of the relations of production, both as a concept and as a reality, has not been discovered. It has revealed itself. Neither the adventurer in knowledge nor the mere recorder of facts can cite this continent before actually exploring it. If it exists, it rose from the waves of the reef, together with the ocean itself and spray. The metaphor continent stands for capitalism as a mode of production, a totality which has never been systematized or achieved. It's never over and done with and is still being realized. It has taken a considerable period of work to say exactly what it is revealing itself. Before the question could be accurately formulated, a whole constellation of concepts had to be elaborated through a series of approximations, the everyday, the urban, the repetitive, and the differential strategies. Space and production of space, etc. began to emerge and reveal itself gave rise first of all to the theoretical hypothesis, and then to the detailed work of research. Second, if that theoretical hypothesis is valid, in other words, if the concept of reproduction of the relations of production is truly a concept with its own truth in itself, then it does not simply amount to a transmission belt, a kind of intellectual tool for analyzing critically the real. It is more than this. It has a global and synthetic meaning, though it does not behave like a classical synthesis or system. It occupies a central position, displacing and substituting itself for certain widely held philosophical notions or scientific specializations such as the subject, whether individual or collective, Cartesian or otherwise, the object, the thing, the sign, etc., structure and function, etc. It does not stand for some obscure entity such as naturality, historicity, happening, seven, nesty, dimension-like, spontaneity, or unconscious, nor for some equally obscure metaphor such as aggregate, flux, or chain reaction, nor for some mechanically over-precise determinations such as device, mechanism, feedback, etc. It is well determined. It denotes a complex process involving contradictions, a process which not only repeats and redoubles those contradictions, but also displaces, changes, and enlarges them. This is the only relatively firm ground which exists. If one leaves it, one has no choice but to return to the inadequate metaphors of flux, etc. This does not mean that the meaning of our concept has no limits, that it covers the horizon in all directions. But it can be said that, being a global concept, it sheds a retrospective and perspective, like over the period in front and behind. The result of introducing this concept is not the appearance of its continuity, but, on the contrary, a resumption of the direction taken during the discovery. The discovery alters the perspective, but excludes nothing. It entails the reconsideration of everything, which preceded, for example, the idea of the block society, neo-archaism, and the promise to institute a new society without transforming the relations of production. At one stroke, it puts an end to all those inflammatory statements made by revolutionary volunteers and subjectivists about the imminent end of the old world, which only lingers on because of human stupidity, as well as to the statements of those who believe it is possible to achieve structural equilibrium and harmony between the various elements of society. The emphasis shifts. It is no longer essential to describe partial processes such as biological reproduction, the procreation of children, population problems, material production, quantitative calculation and correlation, the techniques and organization of labor, or consumption in its various modalities, needs, objects, discourse and signs, and various other manipulations. What is essential is to analyze thoroughly relations of production. Relations of production should be understood in Marx's sense, not simply as money and the commodity, the conditions of capital, raised by capitalist activity to the world scale, and not simply as wages and profit, surplus value, but as the land-labor capital relation. The constitutive trinity of capitalist society, the idea that the reproduction of these social relations was or still is some 8. Being normal and natural is an illusion, which has for a long time biological, or these levels of reproduction, though, a mistaken approach both in method and in theory to confuse them with the general concept of reproduction. There are certain sociologists who do not hesitate to personify society and say that it is the objective of any society to maintain such constitutive relations, especially a society which has achieved consciousness of self and mastery over its own conditions. What these relations in fact constitute is the state subject has superior consciousness conditions. This is flagrant Marxists. The social relations are unconsciously endowed with a kind of inertia which turns them virtually into things. In spite of the light dialectical label which is tagged on to this so-called materialism, or rather philosophism, quite often this ideology can be identified with its opposite, the ideology of imminent catastrophe, the end-in-sight crisis, collapse. In this kind of analysis, or rather lack of analysis, the reproduction of social relations has gone unnoticed or unintelligible. Those who are caught unawares by this situation, which is in fact the tacit renewal of capitalism, have come up with a truly astonishing set of explanations for it. Human stupidity, madness, general delirium, pure violence, etc. The problem of the relations of production and their reproduction coincides neither with Marx's reproduction of the means of production, labor power, the instruments of labor, nor with its enlarged reproduction, growth of production. For Marx, of course, the reproduction of the means of production and the continuity of material production do not take place without the reproduction of social relations, any more than life itself takes place without the repetition of everyday motions and actions. There are several aspects of the process which simultaneously includes linear and cyclical, namely chains of cause and effect, linearities, as well as results which recreate their own conditions, cycles. Thus, commodities are exchanged for commodities through the intermediary sums of money. This is a linear series. According to Marx, a mass of available money gives rise to a corresponding mass of commodities. A cycle is set up, the cycle of the market. The final aspect of reproduction, the reproduction of social relations, does not begin to overtake reproduction on the means of production until towards the end of the 19th century, when it begins to pose new problems. The long unpublished chapter of Capital, which recently appeared, testifies to this. It is at this moment that dominates the results of history, takes them over and integrates within itself the subsystems which had been established before capitalism as exchange networks of commerce and ideas. Agriculture, town, countryside, knowledge, science and scientific institutions, law, the fiscal system, justice, etc. Without, however, managing to constitute itself as a coherent system purged of contradictions. Those who believe in the system are making a mistake, for in fact no complete achieved totality exists. However, there is certainly a whole which has absorbed its historical conditions, reabsorbed its elements, and succeeded in mastering some of the contradictions, though without arriving at desired cohesion and homogeneity. This is what gives the mode of production highly curious appearance that reproduces itself. Distinct parts, but also formation ensembles, the existence of subsystems, but disordered in the whole, conjoined and disjoined levels, its coherences and contradictions, its strategies and tactics, its successes and failures. Third, there is no break between its present exposition and those which came before. This is a recapitulation, a reconsideration of what has already been said and done, but with a different direction, and this does introduce a relative and uneven break, more in political than scientific terms. The discovery of the concept reacts not only to growing steps and hard work that led up to it, but also on our understanding of Marxism and Marx's thought itself. Should Marx thought be accepted today, block, or should it be global rejected? Neither. Marx's critical analysis applies to competitive capitalism. Neither Marx nor his continuators, Lenin and Trotsky, clearly state why and how competitive capitalism can come to. You and today in negative capital, and without the essence of constitutive relations doing likewise. The continuators have resolutely kept proclaiming the end of the process of final catastrophe, but they have not understood it for what it really is. And there are other versions of Marxist thought, or passages from Marxist thought, which have refrained from proclaiming the end of the process. Analysis of the reproduction of relations production puts an end not only to the delirious positivity of the former, but also to the critique of critical critique, the privileged domain of the latter. It is necessary to sift the various ideas, ideologies, representations, and images in order to find out how they have contributed to the renewal of the existing relations, either by stimulating this reproduction directly or by obscuring it. Nothing can escape this sifting process unscathed, neither critical theory nor structuralism, nor psychoanalysis nor surrealism, not even Marxist thought. It is not a crime to believe that Marxist thought has played a contributory role, even an involuntary one, by stimulating this reproduction and being co-opted by it. Not at the theoretical level where it seems to be fundamentally irreducible, but at the level of practice where it has given rise to planning, that is the manipulation of society by the state. What do these now so familiar terms mean? Co-option, integration, repression? Are they connected with the problem of ideologies? There is a current tendency in the Marxist camp, this includes the politicals as well as the philosophers, to attribute a lot of crimes to the class enemies' ideological pressure and ideological apparatus. But one cannot be all sure that some of these pressures actually exist. Ideologies act by persuasion, complementing the state's repressive apparatus. Direct justification of the regime of capitalism and the bourgeoisie tends to discredit rather than sustain it. It has never convinced anybody. The justifications which work are those which themselves are indirect, invisible, illegible. This fundamentally changes the critical analysis of ideologies. On the one hand, ideology and its relation to practice are defined by a precise function. Yet on the other hand, the limitations of that ideology and of its efficacy soon become apparent. There is not and cannot be a simple reproduction of ideology and its corollary repression. Is no reproduction of social relations without certain reproduction of those relations. There is no purely repetitive process. Ideologies which are called such and seen as such, for example, philosophy, religion, ethics, aesthetics, culture, morality, have probably served more as entertainment than as tools. They are merely topics of conversation. Ideologies which act where and still are linked directly with practice. The concept of ideology has been extended beyond all measure, and this has sterilized it. The relation of ideologies to knowledge is examined while the relation to practice has been ignored. The ideologies which are really effective are hardly distinguishable from practice. They are not expressed at a distinctly ideological level. And they do not appear as ideologies. For example, scientificity, positivism, structuralism, etc. cannot be separated from the massive entry of science into production. These ideologies are closely linked with a certain practice, which they contain by concealing, which they distort by masking its contradictions. Any analysis of them needs a prototype of critical analysis to refer to. Let us in this sense keep Marx's theory that capitalist trinity, land, labor, capital as a fixed point, a pivot. These three elements existing in society are indissolubly linked in production and social relations, but ideology makes them appear separately and even to a certain extent brings about an apparent separation between them. You have land which is separate from labor and laborers, which is in turn separate from capital and capitalists. But at the same time as this apparent separation, ideology confuses their contractual appearance, informal codification, physical code. You have the revenue from land, the revenue from labor, and the revenue from capital all mixed up together in the gross national product, surplus value, as the real source of that national income vanishes. This latter is a multifaceted ideology which is scarcely distinguishable from social practice. The contractual system, along with the other two subsystems, is a part of it. Fourth, the exploration of this discovered continent is a search for a point of no return, a point where there is no recourse to individual or group situations, but only to the global scale. The scale of society, and this means the world scale, in spite of the difficulties which analysis encounters at this level at crucial moments such as this would no longer depend on historicizing thought in the sense of history, nor on the classic theory, the final economic and political crisis. It would be the moment of the non-reproduction of the relations, either the dissolution would prevail over the renewal, or the production of new social relations would sweep the outdated relations away. Note here how ideology masks the production of new relations as much as the renewal of the old ones, by masking the various contradictions of the critical moment. Pollution or the fight against it, destruction or construction of the environment, zero growth, negative or positive growth, none of these problems has anything beyond the limited. Capital interest, unless the question of the renewal of the relations is involved. They cannot be called factors. What matters is their interaction as an ensemble. Metamorphosis and self-destruction are not mutually exclusive. It is highly unlikely that the process of renewal of the existing relations, their ability to reconstitute their SU system elements into an ensemble into co-opted divergences and free deviations, will last forever. Therefore, the hypothesis of a moment of no return has the value of eventual truth. It is scientific. Possibility is a part of the real. The highest formulation is therefore a strategic hypothesis. The inverse hypothesis also holds true. Let's put it in the form of a question. How can the existing relations be indefinitely renewed, as reconstructed, and reintegrated? Does the point of no return exist? Yes and no. Yes as an eventuality. No as a historic instant, as a determinist conclusion. No as an established certainty. Yes as a possibility. If everything is transition and contradiction, then nothing can be held with certainty to be paroxysmal, antagonistic contradiction. Everything is in crisis, but where and how does the critical mass form? Where and how does the break take effect? Countless revolutionaries have vainly believed and still believe that a spark would be enough to engulf the world. It is not impossible, of course, that local conflict can turn into a general one. In fact, the fear of this is general enough. But in order to change something, is it not first of all necessary to change everything? That is to change the whole first. Of course it is. But how can everything be changed without a start being made somewhere, without gradually changing each thing, each being, each man? How can the vulnerable spot be detected? The ground on which to make the attack? The dialectic is back on the agenda, but it is in longer Marxist dialectic, just as Marx was no longer Hegel's. These sides, it does not matter what Hegel and Marx wrote about this or that particular, and especially about the dialectic. What matters is to grasp movement and non-movement in the present, to grasp what it is that shifts and collides with that which does not shift. The dialectic has gone through some difficult times, but it has probably emerged strengthened from the test. The same goes for truth, which has been shaded by the dialectic. The dialectic today no longer clings to historicity and historical time, or to a temporal mechanism such as thesis, antithesis, synthesis, or affirmation, negation of the negation in the present. And beginning at the surface, analysis will reveal the following distinctions. 1. Maintenance of the essentials of social relations as the production and property through an increase in productive forces, commonly known as economic growth. 2. Regression, notably cultural friendship groups. 3. The production groups workers, everyday, the reproductive. The pursuit of cohesion in the mode of production does not preclude either dissolution or transformation. Capitalism is changing and as such disintegrating, even in the process of realizing its own concept. Transgressions serve as agri counters, causing this process to appear all as contradictory and dialectical totality. These aspects affect each other. According to the strategic hypothesis adopted, the former will be called positive and the latter negative. As an ensemble, they justify the hypothesis of the point of no return, metamorphosis, and or self-destruction. If we now take our analysis of the dialectical movements deeper, below the surface, the following is discovered. 1. Nature has become problematic. For Marx, domination over material nature was indissolubly linked with the appropriation of it. This appropriation transformed natural matter into human reality, according to the desires and needs of man, including nature and man, his body, as well as his needs and desires. It was an optimistic hypothesis, the expression of the 19th century industrial rationalism, which was to collapse in the second half of the 20th. Now the praxis schema has broken down, according to which man's practical impotence and his philosophical interpretations of it had given way to power over material nature, in which technical mastery was united with an ethical and aesthetical project. As a result of this breakdown, praxis has been undeservedly discredited. Nature destroyed as such has already had to be reconstructed at another level, the level of second nature, that's the town and the urban. It is worth remembering that the urban has no worse enemy than urban planning and urbanism, which is capitalism, and the state's strategic instrument for the manipulation of fragmented urban reality and the production of controlled space. The town, anti-nature or non-nature, and yet second nature, heralds the future world, the world of the generalized urban. Nature, as the sum of particularities which are external to each other and dispersed in space, dies. It gives way to reduced space to the urban. The urban, defined as assemblies and encounters, is therefore the simultaneity or centrality of all that exists socially. This second, appropriated kind of naturality can break down. This is one aspect of the strategic hypothesis. 2. There is a similarly halting and conflicting movement from the undifferentiated by way of separations and reductions in the ensemble of social reality to the differential. There is also movement from labor towards non-labor. Nature does not labor. It creates. It generates beings from germs which ripen. Life and death, pleasure and misery remain scarcely distinguishable. Consciousness is still haunted by germination and maturation, and by their obverse, age and death. Philosophy terms them existential, but here too nature becomes blurred and vanishes. Labor has changed nature, the nature of the creative process. The difference between life and death and between pleasure and pain reveals itself by way of the murder of nature. Productive labor acts in and on physis. The only natural thing about it is the expenditure of physical strength. This specialized and socialized productive labor has replaced natural joy with jobs and with toil. It has replaced the over with the product. But at this point, labor gives birth to the possibility of non-labor, and automatic produces. There is no physical effort involved, and it really is second nature. An automated second nature which the town and the urban reveal. The catastrophic destruction of that initial naturality leads towards it. The town is a possibilities machine. The over assumes the direction once more. As the over of non-labor, joy and the fulfillment of desires prevail over toil. But rhetoric is dangerous at this point. There are so many practical obstacles and contradictions to be overcome. Non-labor does not appear abruptly at the end of history, at the end of the proletarian revolution, as Marx thought. It is already with us, thwarted like the other tendencies. One of the most surprising things about the current situation is surely that the horizon of non-labor of the Great Liberation has come to view not in the homelands of labor and workers as the so-called socialist countries, but in the most advanced capitalist and imperialist industrial country, the United States. Amidst all that opposition, among the trials undergone by modern society, there is this confrontation between nature and anti-nature, labor and non-labor, and a movement that proceeds from the lived to the singular, the initial, the poorly differentiated to the living, universal, known, recognized by way of particularities and the chaos of things. It is an interaction of movements that surely should be called dialectical. Logic takes a larger claim in this than it did for Hegel or Marx, who tended to absorb logic into their dialectic. Since then, it has had no coherence and no internal readjustment. It is a question of formal logic and its application to a determinate content. Strategies, which are presented as logics of this or that, of society, of the thing, of the commodity, of growth, etc., are a result of using logical form in this way. The relation between logic and dialectic raises problems. A shortcut is often taken through panlogism or pandialectization with no defined object. Barring proof to the contrary, it is the concept of difference which is situated at the junction between logic and dialectic. It is impossible today to eliminate logic as see Henri Lefebvre, logique formelle, logique dialectique, and le manifeste differentialis, such and equally impossible to vacate the dialectic. They are no more separable than theory and practice, or knowledge and ideology. Let's take the example of social space. Social space is where the reproduction of the relations of production superimposed on the reproduction of the means of production is located. Instrument of a form of planning, land development. That is the logic of growth. The social practice of capitalism implies and contains knowledge, logic, the search for coherence, and ideology of cohesion. It also contains contradictions at the global level. This then is what is new and paradoxical. The dialectic is no longer attached to temporality. Therefore, refutations of historical materialism or Hegelian historicity cannot function as critiques of the dialectic. To recognize space, recognize what takes place there and what it is used for, is to resume the dialectic. Analysis will reveal the contradiction space. The abstract space of the mathematicians, epistemologists, is answerable to logic. The root from this mental space of social space is already implicitly a dialectical movement. There can be no break between them, blocking the route, for the unity between them includes the difference. Analysis of social space reveals that coherences, strategies, and tactics, subsystems, enter into conflict with each other. There are specific contradictions such as, for example, those between centers and peripheries that can be found in political economy, in political science, in the theory of urban reality, and in the analysis of all social and mental processes. State capitalism and the state in general need the town as center of decision-making, wealth, information of the organization of space. But at the same time, they cause the town, as the historically constituted political center, to fragment and disappear. Centrality collapses in the space which it has generated, i.e., into the existing relations of production and their reproduction. The relation between center and periphery is not generated dialectically in the course of historical time, but logically and strategically. The center organizes what is around it, arranging and hierarchizing the peripheries. Those who occupy the center hold power, governed with the benefit of effective knowledge and principles. The center-periphery relation only emerges indirectly out of the previous struggles of classes and peoples. E.t. 17th gives birth to apparatuses which seem rational and coherent and which were so originally. This kind of spatial relation becomes dialectical, conflictive. Centrality has its dialectical movement, or rather it is dialectical, as a property of social and mental space. The center attracts those elements which constitute it, commodities, capital, information, etc., but which soon saturate it. It excludes those elements which it dominates, it governs, subjects and objects, but which threaten it. We are not speaking of a science of space, but of knowledge, a theory of the production of space. The relation between the two corresponds to the articulation between logic and dialectic. The science of space, mathematics, physics, has affinities with logic, with the theory of ensembles, systems, and coherences. But knowledge of the productive process, which introduces its most general products, space into social existence, has affinities with dialectical thought, which grasps the contradictions of space. Here again is the juncture between logic and dialectic that is the problem. It is situated at a certain level. The level at which the concept of difference is formulated. Around each point and each center in social, urban space, whether large or small, temporary or lasting, there is both a local order, the order of the neighborhood, and on a broader scale, a more distant order, the order of society as a whole, of the relations of production and the state. Difference therefore exists between these levels. Each on its own account constitutes an order, a sought for cohesion. See, conflicts between these orders are not unusual. Distant order can only remain abstract as long as it does not incorporate itself into local order by absorbing the latter's variations and variants. The contradiction becomes specific when distant order, which is the order of the social relations of production on a global scale, and therefore the order of their reproduction, brutally invades the local relations of production, the neighborhood, nature around the town, local communities, etc. The problems and concepts which have recently arisen concerning the environment, the depletion of resources, the destruction of nature, etc., only tell half the story concerning the contradictions of space. They are only fragmentary manifestations. They mask the global problem, which is the problem of space as a whole, its production and management. The center-periphery relation is neither the soul nor the essence. 18. Teal-conflictive relation, in spite of its importance, it is subordinate to a deeper conflictive relation. The relation between, on one hand, the fragmentation of space, its practical fragmentation, since space has become a commodity that is bought and sold, chopped up into lots and parcels, but also its theoretical fragmentation, since it is carved out by scientific specialization. And on the other hand, the global capacity of the productive forces and scientific knowledge to produce spaces on a planetary and even interplanetary scale. This dialectized conflictive space is where the reproduction of the relations of production is achieved. It is this space that produces reproduction by introducing into it multiple contradictions, whether or not these latter sprung from historical time. Capitalism took over the historical town through a vast process turning into fragments and creating a social space for itself to occupy. But its material base remained the enterprise and the technical division of labor in the enterprise. The result is a vast displacement of contradictions requiring a detailed comparative analysis. V. There has been a long drawn out methodological and epistemological conflict between the lived without concept and the concept without life. It is a conflict which can be resolved and surmounted with the concept of reproduction of the social relations of production. The concept provides an explanation for the malaise which people, including philosophers and experts, live under, the malaise which nourishes an obscure feeling devoid of consciousness. Neither the live without concept nor the concept without life are short of partisans who separate these fragments of consciousness from the theoretical and practical situation. They can be called ideologies if you like, but as always with the most active kinds of ideology, they are not openly announced to be such. One set of partisans, gauchistes, spontaneous, anarchists, reject theoretical thought, swearing that they refute all ideology. The other set, structuralists, scientists who have got bogged down in epistemology, in pure knowledge and so-called theoretical practice, simply do not condescend to notice the lived which. Either trivial occupation worthy only of the public square. These splitters are all rewarded with a certain amount of success. Unilaterality simplifies both consciousness and learning on one hand, and the route and the project on the other. One set of partisans does without thinking, the other without living. They both find somewhere where they can be shielded from vicissitudes of any kind. It could be said with a touch of irony that such attitudes are easily reproducible. The rejection of knowledge imitates itself in an instant. And pure knowledge, after a minimum of pedagogical precautions, transmits and communicates itself to itself. People today are no longer ignorant of the society in which they live. They have an awareness of many of its detours and tricks, even when they do not see the exact mechanisms of exploitation and means of power. They have known for a long time that it is a case of them and us, and that them are getting fatter all the time. This experience does not amount to a theoretical consciousness of surplus value. Yet little by little consciousness penetrates the experience. The initial spontaneity will slacken off, but only because it is already assimilating the lived proof exploitation and political power. This does not mean that the concept as such has become useless. It simply means that the concept is no longer introduced into the lived from the outside. As Lenin stipulated in a somewhat well-worn formula which has justified the worst kinds of extortion in the name of the political party. The theoretical concept currently encounters an uncertain consciousness which will leap ahead of and lags behind a situation which is itself uncertain. The concept of the production and reproduction of social relations resolves the contradiction in Marx's thought, which to him could not appear as a contradiction. Marx thought that the productive forces constantly flung themselves against the restricted limits of the existing relations of production and the capitalist mode of production, and that the revolution was going to leap over these constraints. Partial crises would change into a general crisis. The working class would wait impatiently for an hour and would enter the transitional period from capitalism to communism following the political revolution. He also thought that the bourgeoisie has its own historic mission in the growth of productive forces, that the limits of capitalism are internal to it, and the mode of production only disappears once it has developed all the productive forces that it contains. But what has happened is that capitalism has found itself able to attenuate, if not resolve, its internal contradictions for a century, and consequently, in the 100 years since the writing of Capital, it has succeeded in achieving growth. We cannot calculate what price, but we do know what it means by occupying space, by producing space. The fighting forces have also changed over this period. The bourgeoisie has not turned into a statue, and the working class has not remained bogged down in its native role. Bourgeoisie and proletariat have changed, the state even more so. And the relations of production, by producing the essential codified relations, they too have moved. The inventory of these changes has begun. All that is needed to complete the inventory are certain concepts, including that of the reproduction of these very relations, together with their imminent dialectic. When capitalist social practice entered the phase of its own reproduction, this process of reproduction of social relations took place within capitalist society with no common consciousness except the malaise, which itself was growing. This moment marked the disappearance of the referentials by which language had eliminated social bearings. These referentials had consisted partly of common sense and partly of history, the town, Cartesian reason, in France, three-dimensional perspective, natural cycles, etc. BU. From the moment when the social practice of reproduction became unconscious, the loss of meaning acquired a terrifying attraction. It has been a loss of identity at the collective level, much more than at the individual level. This crisis of meaning and identity does not only affect individuals' words and concepts. It affects regions, peoples, and nations. Language having no apart from itself, the referential function has been taken over by rhetoric. We are among the meta languages of publicity, politics, and sheer wind. The loss of meaning and identity in certain concepts has taken the form of devaluation, a dilution. Let us consider the word production. Although Marx went a long way towards elaborating this concept, it remained ambiguous for the same term designated. Both production in the broad sense, to produce Ubers, entire society, and production in the narrow sense, to produce things or products. 100 years after Marx, the word production has lost any clearly defined referential and is used to mean production of whatever you like. Production of meaning, signs, discourse, ideologies, theory, writing, literature, and even the kind of twice removed production of production. This is very reminiscent of the way in which terms in philosophy have doubled back on themselves. Thought, consciousness of self, will, and so on. The more the content of the concept is diluted and gets lost in abstraction, the more profound the concept, which actually ceases to be such, appears to be. The concept of the reproduction of the relations of production restores a clearly defined content, a practical referential to the concept of production. It enables us to understand the loss of meaning and identity in the concept of production, and possibly in certain other concepts, labor, desire, practice, etc. There are certain pursuits which reveal the symptoms of this ambiguous, not to say tragic situation. When reflection attempts to predict what the institutions of some other post-technological or post-industrial society will be, is it not a symptom in the clinical sense of the term? And when working class and student youth, the latter coming from the middle classes and the leading layers of society, reject the mode of production, the symptom turns into the cause, and reproduction of the social relations wavers. Critical thought has exposed the symptoms of certain ailments endemic to bourgeois society, juvenile delinquents, criminals, schizophrenia, paranoia, the complexes, evil, or otherwise, etc. But this exposure in itself is also a mere symptom. The symptoms revealed by critical thought raise questions, which originate on the peripheries but are directed towards the essential, the reproduction of the relations. The exposure of this situation has not come only from political leftism, the politicized and politicizing factions which call the masses into political resistance, nor obviously from the fragmentation of these groups. The existence of anti-political leftism is also a symptom of the situation, although the champions of this kind of leftism think of it confusedly as a rejection theory. The feeling of malaise in the face of political mechanisms and the discourse of professional politicians is also a symptom. And so is the confused idea that political mechanisms, the state and political society, which are proclaimed to be above civil society, can reprieve the rejected relations of production or fatigue they contribute to, their reproduction. There is depoliticization on the right, and a withering away of the political on the left. Hence the sudden crazes of intellectual youth, which tend to confuse fashion with culture and knowledge with non-knowledge. Critique of the symptoms is mistaken for global thought, and proceeds from critical critique of dominalism. A partial critique, the critique of one aspect which is considered as defining the whole society, suddenly assumes excessive importance and seems global. And by way of the same illusion, the most abstract critique, the critique of critical critique, assumes an air of liberation. There has recently been a tendency to distinguish the world of desire from the real world by opposing them. So that anyone who admits that reality must be a repressive, that is a repressor of the desire which aims at the absolute by way of philosophical rhetoric, and consequently a fascist. Critical critique takes itself completely seriously at the precise moment that leaves the firm ground of theoretical thought. These ideological superfluities, which go hand in hand with the rejection of ideology, must be taken systematically. This society in which reproduction of the relations constitutes the central and hidden process rejects all sorts of groups, however constitutive of social life they may be: youth, children, adolescents, young people, women. Foreigners, outsiders, peripherals. Thus, alongside growth, there are growing difficulties in the socialization of individuals. One of the specific contradictions of the society is the contradiction between expulsion, the expulsion of whole groups towards the spatial, mental, and social peripheries, and integration, which remains symbolic. Abstract and cultural is a contradiction which is not immediately legible, but which is in the process of being deciphered. These inversions of the social, its objection to political and economic, inevitably disturb consciousness itself, and get translated into some rather odd ideologies. The ambiguities turn into contradictions which are concepts and elucidate theoretically, without of course resolving them, or putting an end to them in practice. The factors which permit the growth of productive forces and maintenance of the relations of production have damaged social life, consciousness, and action by masking the central phenomenon. For example, technology, let loose, has thrown up the myth of technocracy and technostructure. According to this modern myth, which is both ideological and practical, there exists a layer, caste, or even a class of people which is capable of substituting itself for the capitalist and the bourgeoisie competent, disinterested experts and practitioners, organizers of enterprises of production and consumption, and ultimately of space. This is true insofar as the reproduction of the relations of production entails a certain efficiency, but false as far as the possibility of this group substituting itself for the bourgeoisie and the class is concerned. Galloping population growth, too, has an ambiguous influence. It would appear to stimulate the economic growth and internal markets of the big industrial countries. But it lays a massive biological reproduction over reproduction of social relations. The quantitative growth of the human species threatens that species. It tends to replace the desire to live with a slogan, a necessity, a reducing imperative: survive above all and only survive. In which case the concrete social relations don't matter very much. They are just buried that much deeper, concealed that much better. Sixth, and being for the kernel of the current center, we can establish a picture with two facets. On one side, the indices, symptoms and causes of the maintenance of social relations, and on the other side, the indices, symptoms and causes of their dissolution and revolution. One of the indices of their maintenance in France and some other countries is the permanence of the Napoleonic civil code. It has been touched up and amended, but it is still the codified basis for relations concerning private ownership of land, extended to money, and therefore to capital. This basis is still not changed even a century and a half after it was formally established, in spite of industrialization. The amendments, those concerning women, for example, have not affected the essential. The codification of laws and contractual relations has simply retreated in front of whatever might radically alter it, for example, the right to be different, while the introduction of labor laws, however new their content, has not changed the form. The power structure undoubtedly rests on the middle classes, that is, it rests on their ambiguities. They are attributed with both an economic reality in production as well as in consumption and an illusion of political power. The middle classes, technicians, intellectuals, etc., shore up the essential relations by believing that they are free of them. The individuals that such lead or try to lead an elitist life. Their escape route is culture, although cultural knowledge serves capitalism, and as a class, they convey the relations of production. The middle classes thus live on two levels in a permanent duality or duplicity. At one level, the individuals judge, criticize, sometimes argue, and may even refuse. At another level, they serve and receive the opposite. An illusory delegation of power, which gives them the impression that they are doing something different from what they actually are doing. They live a double life, rich and poor, here and somewhere else, part of the system of supply with allies, engaged in thankless duties with enjoyment that is half real and half tissue with illusions. They stand halfway between nature and culture, between individual taste and the general stereotype, between the normal and the abnormal, pathological, etc. The middle classes furnish us with an example of how ambiguities can turn into conflicts. The lack of consistency and specificity, which marks the middle classes as a swamp, actually helps them to attain positive advantages. To score some points and hence to produce, they are the producers of overs and of meaning. The role of these layers and classes composed largely of technicians of all levels, salaried employees, intellectuals, and members of the so-called liberal professions, is not only to acquire knowledge and transmit it, but also to insert it into production and social practice. If learning sciences and techniques relies on the existence of such a fragile social support, then clearly learning itself cannot ensure that the social process of learning that is investment in production will be controllable. However indispensable such assurance might seem to be, the social bearers of the process rendered unsure. Learning is something social, not merely mental, and it cannot reproduce itself in the manner of a positive system which supplies its own conditions. In spite of all the efforts made by institutions, the contradiction is there. The simple fact is that there is no barrier between tide learning and its negative side, which is critical thought. The attempt to separate technical knowledge, the applied sciences, from knowledge in general, from basic research, from philosophy, or literary criticism, for example, has never really been successful. Or is a separation which immediately sterilizes applied knowledge, shrouding the system in a quasi-metaphysical uncertainty, hence the resurgence of philosophy and religion, and weakening it crucially. The leaders know this well enough. They know that critical thought can come into a critical mass, hence their suspicion of the middle classes. Those who are needed are put into service. But it is a service which, while it may sterilize them, in one way or another brings confrontation nearer. Being a swamp, the middle classes lend themselves badly to precise analysis and still less to any operative concepts. It is possible, though, to reach some conclusive results by spatializing the global image of these classes. In social space, they occupy positions and perhaps intermediary spaces between the center and the peripheries, like interstitial tissue. In a more general sense, this forms a part of the theoretical and methodological problem of passage from the mental abstract representation of space to the social real spaces, spaces of representation. The thesis of a confused transitional area between ambiguities and conflicts is even further supported by the critical analysis of social space. Corresponding to the order which is based on the division of labor and on the extension of industrial organization in the enterprise is so-called technical rationality to society as a whole. There is a spatial chaos. The chaos springs from the order, from a rationality which is real but limited. This is a situation which can eventually be overturned, with space becoming the specific principle of organization. This thesis also applies to nature. For a long time it was maintained that everything in man, the rhythms of life, even thought and language. But then again it was maintained that everything in man is culture, with culture being opposed to nature. The ambiguity was still there. The difference had not yet undergone the test of battle, but now it has entered the danger zone, the zone of contradiction. Difficulties are proclaimed, the degeneration of the environment, the exhaustion of natural resources, the destructive use of knowledge. It does not require much reflection to realize that pollution and the environment serve to conceal some even more serious and pressing problems. It is true that nature is only an abstraction, and that the real is a main composed of ecosystems, and ensembles endowed with a certain equilibrium which automatically reproduce in nature. Then clearly, the critical moments are not far off. Nature does not endow the ecosystems with internal stability. They evolve, reestablishing themselves after the introduction or loss of factor. But can they live without relative stability in peak or perpetual destruction? Can ecosystems live on factory site? The central problem is not the environment, but the problem of space. An ecosystem, once broken up, cannot reconstruct itself. Once even a fragment disappears, then theoretical thought and social practice have to recreate TEA in totality. This cannot be done in bits and pieces, therefore they have to produce a space. The production of space, in spite of its usual name, development, is thought of in terms of logic or logistics. Space seems to have a rational character, implicit coherence, which in turn implies practical cohesion. Thus reproduction of the relations of production, reproduction of the means of production, labor power, tools, raw materials, etc. The organization of the environment around the enterprises as a society as a whole. The layout of the jigsaw puzzle of towns and regions, the announcing of a new social life, etc. All these are dependent on the development of space, but the worsening contradiction between the conditions of capitalist domination and the conditions of social life pokes through this nice positive scheme. The only thing that guarantees the connection between the subsystems, teaching, the physical system, information, justice, etc., or that guarantees their subordination to the ensemble, is the state and the intervention of state power. When state power makes an intervention in space, it does not do so in the name of conception or knowledge of space. It simply uses in space its representations, instruments, things, without losing its sacred property, that is its sovereign unity. Power gears itself down into partial powers. It seeks by delegation to maintain or recapture the institutions which constitute it and which have a tendency to detach themselves and establish their own independence. There is no total system, meta system, uniting the partial systems or subsystems. Their cohesion is rather the object of the strategy, if there were such a thing as a social logic. All state power would need to do would be to laissez-faire, to talk about such a logic would not to accepting the heritage of bourgeois liberalism. In other words, there is no logic of reproduction in social and political practice, nor is there a logic of power. There is a strategy, and the strategy applies general formal logic to certain objects. To end, a perspective, to apply mechanically the concept of system, e.g. in what is known as systems analysis, makes for utter confusion. There is no such thing, for example, as an urban system. On the contrary, the spread of urban tissue is accompanied by the fragmentation of the town, and it is this that gives rise to one of the deepest contradictions of space. For the town not only represents a colossal accumulation of wealth, it is also the center of birth and learning, the point of reproduction of all social relations, but it also becomes the place where these relations are threatened. The strategy of political space gives rise to a contradiction. What is to be done with the town? Should it be saved at all costs by devoting gigantic resources to it, perhaps all the resources of the society, or should it be sacrificed, letting the urban tissue proliferate in disorder and chaos, but thereby strengthening the decision-making centers? It is an unsettling contradiction to the reproduction of social relations. This crucial moment has one unforeseen but persistent and widespread consequence. Even as the conditions for rapid changeover to another kind of society are being realized, it therefore has very little to do with the famous transitional period referred to by the Marxists and by Marx himself. This is how you can say whatever you like. Any opinion, any affirmation is probable or justifiable to some degree. Formal certainty opposes practical probability in vain. But under cover of the formal learning of language, which prevails over knowledge, any discourse will ever be held valid. The referentials have fallen, and fatalism has invaded every domain except mathematics. Everything gets jumbled up together under the heading of structures, fashion, and culture, specialization, and encyclopedism, knowledge and non-knowledge, which mistake themselves for each other and collide. Reason and consciousness, the mental and the social, like peace and war, they become less and less distinguishable. Utter confusion. But in fact, this confusion in discourses and contradictions between them have little importance. Only real effective contradictions, those of space, have consequences. Be it cause knowledge is employed in production, and the maintenance of the relations of capitalist production is often met with suspicion. Rejection or generation. The question is, can understanding of this situation lead to the converse effect, the restoration to knowledge of all its seriousness? On the basis of critical knowledge and resolution of conflicts regarding internal knowledge. Seventh, let us recapitulate. The theory of reproduction of the social relations gives us back a reference which is no longer external and partial, but internal and global. Together with the dialectic, it provides us with a reconsideration of ideology, the concept of which has begun to fall into the utmost confusion, into verbalism and the critique of language, for lack of reference. By way of definition, any representation is ideological if it contributes either immediately or mediately to the reproduction of the relations of production. Ideology is therefore inseparable from practice, but not practice is an application of this or that ideology. There is the global practice of society, capitalism, its praxis. This practice includes representations which are linked to actions, whether directly or indirectly, immediately or mediately, close to or at a distance. We also said that the most effective ideology, the most securely linked to practice, does not appear as ideology. Thus, apparently, ideology can profess to be non-ideology. The most effective ideology, that which is closest to the social practice of capitalism and consequently the least ideological, used to be the illusion of natural reproduction beyond the relation of production. This illusion was based on the inertia inherent in these relations, considered as things, and on the social effect of biological reproduction and the succession of generations. Curiously, it is only recently that this illusion of natural reproduction has obtained a theoretical foothold in structural functionalist Marxism, for example, Ballard and Reading Capital. We have already noted how this complements the inverse illusion which is forecast, imminent catastrophe. A certain kind of scientificity, even something claiming to be logic, may therefore constitute an ideology. Shutting the various assortments around concept representation, truth appearance, knowledge, ideology is an endless layer of critical reflection. It is a paradox of the rediscovered dialectic that the apparently non-ideological becomes ideological, that it turns into active and effective ideology. The maintenance of the social relations within capitalism has had various results at the ideological and theoretical level. One of which is that suspicion has been cast on history, and that there is uncertainty about the rationality and finality of that so-called historical time. The meaning of history used to be identified with the end of capitalism, but the non-temporal appearance of the relations and their codification has become stronger. Ideology and practice mingle. The dialectic, the sense of the tragic, the philosophy of becoming, all seem to be beaten. The victors being the combinatories, the invariants, the mechanistic theories of equilibrium. Value and valorizations, non-value and devalorizations also constitute an ideology. Formalized or practical systems of values are elaborated by the ruling class or by a section of it, or by the spheres of knowledge which enslaved or ultimately by PR and the state, in order to maintain the situation, the relations. Truth today is scarcely more than value. The value of truth accompanies and conceals the breakup of the true as such, which is accompanied by its shadow. Its reverse side, the investment of science of it, truth in production, and the mode of production and the reproduction of its relations. Some of the most effective maintenance men are the ideologues who manufacture systems. They lead the intimate affairs of all those who hope that real existing society can be fulfilled and enclosed. That its stability can be guaranteed. There is room here only for a few references to critique of systems, who write back to systems analysis and the theory of systematization itself. Let's briefly recall the example of psychoanalysis. Love was with it for quite a while for the dogma. 30. Tism of the psychoanalyst only ever came across other dogmatisms, all of which were equally arguable. The dogmatism of the manufacturer of systems, the institutional Marxist, the classic metaphysical thinker, or the specialized scientist. Besides, any critique of psychoanalysis, however justifiable or delicately stated, who meet the same brick wall of non-acceptance, the psychoanalysts oppose and still oppose their own doctrinal attitude to all others. Today, an internal critique of psychoanalysis is going on, but it has the character of a revaluation or reformism. The bankruptcy petition was filed when Wilhelm Reich started to carry out his amazing work. But the inventory is still going on. From the very start, from its first attempts to lift the heavy stone of bourgeois morality, psychoanalysis suffered from congenital malformation. It had a non-temporal view of the causes and effects of society born in historical time, i.e. bourgeois society, the close family subordinated to the father as the boss, the embodiment of property. The mere appearance of this non-temporal, static model had disastrous effects in spite of the endeavors of Marxism and dialectical thought to introduce some kind of dynamic. It became impossible to sort out ideology knowledge tangle. Psychoanalysis received from Freud an ideology whose contradictions and whose very existence psychoanalysis concealed. An ideology that was part Judeo-Christianity, unmasked by Nietzsche, and part Western rationalism, Greco-Roman, with a logo of holding pleasure and body in contempt. It is pre-Nietzsche. At least Nietzsche's aphorisms were key poetically revealing. What is the unconscious? A whole all. You can put whatever you like in it. The body, the results of history, the will to power, memory, anything. You can stuff repetition, reproduction, and all their various aspects into it as well. In practice, what the psychologists have done for decades is to use the analytic cure as a means of reconstructing the subject of the bourgeois society that is the chairman of the board of directors and who amounts to the same thing, his woman, his wife. His life is made bearable by promises of treatment for his neurotic anxiety, which he is told is existential. It's also a symptom of the conflicts and neuroses induced by bourgeois society and the bourgeois family. Psychoanalysis has fought against some of the other symptoms of the society only too well. Does this mean that its active makes up for its passive? The question alone presupposes acceptance of the hypothesis of an active. It also presupposes that one considers psychoanalysis systematically and not dogmatically. It must be admitted on the active side that psychoanalysis has given, or rather given back, a meaning to sex, as Marx gave back a meaning to labor and non-labor. To sex, yes, but not to the body nor to pleasure, and this limits the active side of the balance sheet. Eighth, the concept and theory of reproduction brings out one of the most prominent but least noticed features of modernity, which is the prevalence of repetition in all spheres. This poor little world of wealth is condemned not only to reproduce in order to reproduce itself, together with its constitutive relations, but also to present what is repeated as new. And as all the more new, neo, the more archaic it actually is. Reproducibility is a supplementary guarantee of reproduction. The reproducible and the reproductive generate the repetitive. Pleonasm, tautology, and identity could, at the limit, guarantee absolute reproduction. Produced occupied space becomes the point of the reproducible, of the perfect repetitive. This curious reactivation, which passes for activity, speeds up and depreciates its own materials all the more quickly. Let's note some of the symptoms. 1. Fashion is confused with culture, retracing the past in more or less chronological order. We have had Romanticism, the Second Empire, La Belle Époque, the 1900s, the 1920s, the 1930s, and so on, not just in clothes, but in furniture, food, architecture, etc. There is coherence in this incoherence. It lies in the approximate simultaneity of instances in various spheres, which are thus subordinated to some kind of homogeneity. To talk about consumer society, actually, the bureaucratic society of directed consumption as production for consumption is an inadequate definition. At best, the products of this society simply imitate and reproduce the oeuvres of previous pre-capitalist societies, turning them over to mass consumption. The great and noble nostalgia for beauty and nature begins at the point where these oeuvres cannot be reproduced industrially. Is the capitalist mode of production and to be defined as production of what is repro. 32. Useful of the repetitive, is this how it closes and fulfills itself? To put it another way, does the system of reproducible and repetitive approximate more closely to its reality than any other system? The answer is looking at the face. The repetitive itself generates differences. The very statement guarantees that there is at least something that is new. And critical analysis of the false new is by its existence of further proof. The repetitive therefore cannot suffice to define neo-capitalism. 2. The false new gets christened neo-something or other. There is neo-naturalism, the neo-rustic, neo-classicism, neo-surrealism, neo-romanticism, the neo-exotic, the neo-aesthetic. There is also neo-hegelianism, neo-communism, neo-Cartesianism, etc. Even neo-Marxism. 3. The voracious consumption of past oeuvres, notably the town and of history as a whole, goes hand in hand with the constant perfecting of the processes of material reproduction. This has reached a point where it is no longer possible to distinguish between the false and the authentic, between the original and the copies. And this authenticates, if one dare use such a word, both the absence of creativity and the myth of creativity which, under the regime of the repetitive, are complementary. To such a key point that creation and invention seem to be impossible and withdraw in face of the permutation of elements already invented long ago. 4. The aesthetic, scientific, cultural, technological, and pedagogical importance of the repetitive is scarcely arguable. We find not only processes of reproduction and imitation, but also the manufacture of indefinitely repeatable elements, hence the importance of models and simulations in various scientific and social spheres. Any of this pales in comparison beside the terrifying scale of the repetition of motions and operations in divided labor, which is broken right down to infinitesimal fragments. Is this going to lead us prematurely that is within the social framework of existing capitalist relations to what Pierre Neville has called social automatism? Is social reproduction going to become the counterpart of biological reproduction with its political features alien to indifference? The answer is no, but some verification is needed if we are going to demonstrate that reproduction cannot take place without reproduction of new relations. The neo-archaic in this culture is not an accident. What it represents and what it hides is the cultural essence of modernity. Underneath its pretended and pretentious newness, modernity conceals the tedium of the repetitive, its self-satisfied cut chewing and regurgitation. The redundancy which would have us believe in the intelligibility of this world. The redundant brilliance and the appearance of newness in everyday cultural repetition conceal total reproduction. Conversely, the reproduction of the old in the modern conceals the current society which is renewing and reproducing itself. For all its intensity, the repetitive can get rid of neither ableism nor obsession nor the rhetoric of desire and death. On the contrary, it has to invoke them as diversions. It takes a good deal of philosophical arrogance to state, as Deleuze and Guattari do in Anti-Eve, that capitalism only belongs to itself by generating a flux of entities. Is this a complacent simplification or a philosophical pose intensifying Cartesian separation of subject and object, or an intellectual vision which generalizes the pathogenic, schizoid aspect of intellectualism and casts a scornful eye upon the rest of the world? Their hypothesis leads them to reduce space, social production, and society itself to superimpose fluxes of objects, signs, codes, etc. It is an interesting and fragile hypothesis, proclaiming that tone of certainty which has by now become mandatory for any kind of thought whose only reference is to its own language. It is simply the hypothesis of Bergsonian philosophy revised and corrected by psychoanalysis. By separating time from space, it turns the schizoid into an explanatory principle. It is the related theorization of aversion and leftism that is running around on the politicization of this or that real but peripheral issue, prison, drugs, insanity, etc., and has been sunk back into a nation of the political. Unfortunately, this also means that they have handed the situation back to the pure politicians, neither in response to the confused man who is born out of the situation. A total project is necessary, a project that expressly proposes a radically different way of living. Transgressions can point towards such a project, but they cannot realize it. They leave it in the realms of ideality as opposed to reality and of desire, which turns out to be mere desire, that is verbal desire. The enlarged concept of the production of social relations redirects those tendencies which Marx, restricting himself to the economic, formerly noted. Do transgressions reveal tendencies? Yes and more. They are themselves tendencies, normal ones insofar as the word normal means anything. The tendencies reveal tensions and the direction taken by these tensions. The aim of this project is to produce a difference, which is different from anything that can be inferred from the existing relations of production. According to our hypothesis, this difference among differences can, potentially, and not in some speculative past, be produced through space as well as time, and by means of conception of space. The project has nothing to do with the program. Every political program is introduced at a particular conjuncture. It refracts social demand in the distorting mirror of the very particular interests of the political party, its apparatus, its leaders. There rise to state power, the maintenance of this power, and consequently of the state structure. A project worthy of the name must be broader than a program. It must be found on deeper analyses and display a wider horizon. Above all, it must imply critique of politics in general, of politics and parties in particular, of the existing state in every state. Only a global project can begin to define all the rights of individuals and groups by determining the conditions of their entry into practice. Let us note some of these rights. The right to the town, the right not to be thrown out of society and civilization into some space which has been produced solely for the purpose of discrimination, and the right to be different, the right not to be classified forcibly into categories which have been determined by the necessarily homogenizing powers. In spite of these powers and power itself, it is possible to put forward a project which is for the development and realization of freedoms and rights, and against their disappearing behind smoke screen, more or less. Revolutionary phraseology. But it will be difficult. How can the old principle of habeas corpus be conceived and maintained? How can it be rescued from its bourgeois usage? The plan like a program is something presented at a particular conjuncture and is inspired by strategy. But it is the global project which approximates more closely than any kind of plan or planning to a path, the specific path towards a different society, socialism, communism. It presupposes a different conception of space and time. It shows us the horizon and the way towards it. The project is not based upon any one of the more or less rational categories initiated by philosophical thought, for example, the real and the ideal. Determinism and voluntarism, necessity and chance, the given and the utopian, the spontaneous and the considered D. The ensemble is taken into account. If there is a dominant category, a dominant opposition, it is that of the possible and the impossible, which the transgressions disclose. That is in order to extend the possible, it is necessary to proclaim and desire the impossible. Action and strategy consist in making possible tomorrow what is impossible today. The project has meaning only by virtue of impossibility, the impossibility of the existing social relations being adhered to indefinitely. The project finds out what this impossibility makes possible, and conversely what the real sphere and blocks at present. This project can only be the result of a collective, spontaneous, and conscious theoretical and practical effort to lay down the PATH. Partial and differential groups are already cooperating in doing this. Above all those groups which central power is rejected and thrown back into the mental, social and spatial peripheries. Women, youth, the underprivileged. The peripheries may be powerless, isolated, and destined for only local and emphasize revolts, but it is nonetheless possible for them to outflank the centers once the latter have been shaken. If the project is ineffective, it is because the so-called social facts have eluded thought and action, and because they therefore consist of a flux and reflux of blind chance and equally blind necessity. Certain features suffice to determine the project negatively, for example, it can be distinguished from political programs. But above all, it is urban life in the everyday where the project takes the form of practical elaborations and attempts at a radical change. The first point about the project is that it gives priority to social needs, not individual needs. This distinguishes it from those plans and programs inspired by the bourgeoisie as the ruling class, which remain within the framework of the reproduction of the relations. All such laws and programs, overtly or otherwise, always put individual needs, manipulated by advertising, mass media, etc., in the forefront. Even though individual needs are themselves subordinate to growth and to the reproduce. Sean of social relations. How can social needs be defined? They are complacently confused with the needs of the state and its power, or with the demands and constraints of state plan production, or with those enterprises and workers supported by the state. Let us oppose such deviations from the social and the collective with the first principle. Social needs today are, above all, urban needs. The official terms like development or environment conceal the problems by submitting them to a temporary and fraudulent topicality, though this does not mean that they are not topical or important. The deepest problem is the problem of producing and managing space that will correspond to the possibilities of technology and knowledge, and also to the demands made on social life by and for the masses. Obviously, the realization of this project depends on a decision by the working class, while the working class cannot do everything by itself. And while there are contradictions that work within that class, just as there are in every past, present, and future reality, there is also nothing that can be done without it. The working class has the capacity for choice, reformism, revolution, state planning, growth, whatever suits it. We must face a painful truth. If the relations of production have maintained themselves for a century, if they have scarcely changed at all in capitalist countries, and they have changed only a bit more in so-called socialist countries, without there having been a metamorphosis proclaimed by Marx, that is the working class's abolition of itself. Then it is because the working class has actually wanted it that way. The working class has its own share of the responsibility, if one may say so. This history, or rather its end of history in the classic sense, has still to be written, since it is not yet finished. Political realism accepts the situation. Theoretical thought cannot sit back and be content with the overdefined role of simply explaining the situation. It is necessary to insist yet again on one crucial key point. In the course of the process which we analyzed briefly here, the capitalist mode of production has realized its concept as Marx determined it. Leaving aside the modalities of its realization, it has absorbed, resolved, and integrated what history transmitted to it. That is the pre-capitalist relations of production, agriculture, the town. The various subsystems and pre-existing apparatuses of knowledge, justice, etc. It has subordinated everything to its own operation by extending itself to space as a whole. At the same time, and because of this, it has realized, KT as a state has aggravated and exposed its own contradictions. It is even produced something new, which has a tendency to outflank it. The working class too, in its own way, is realizing its concept, even or rather especially when contradictions intervene, for the contradictions form a part of this concept. The concept of the working class in itself implies its self-determination. If the working class were to renounce self-determination and independence, this would already amount to self-destruction. This is how many people, workers or otherwise, feel it. Away from its self-determination, the working class decays. It allows itself to be integrated instead of integrating. It is no longer a class. Even so, we cannot reproach the working class for not identifying itself in practice with its pure theoretical concept. This reproach is Hegelian in principle. It can be found here and there in the thoughts of Marxists and even in Marx himself. It borders on the ridiculous. It is said that whenever the working class fails to realize its autonomy, it is given in to what? To ideological pressure? To the conjunctural advantages of a particular situation? Or even to the whole mode of production? To the reproduction of social relations? True, this reproduction has not and still cannot be accomplished without a certain amount of at least passive consent from the working class. But this does not mean that we can call it complicity and still less adherence. Consent has been extracted by every means, by violence as well as persuasion. The concessions which the working class has made are one of the most dramatic contradictions at the heart of the working class as such, and have contributed to that obscurely felt malaise which extends to society as a whole, through a more or less cultural and cultivated void. But if the working class is divided, its various sections adopt differing attitudes, and this is because it has diversified instead of remaining homogeneous, or a factor of homogeneity. There is no law saying that the proletariat can escape all contradiction. The sections of the proletariat enter into the conjunctural. Apart from one or two exceptional moments, it is a question neither of the working class's structure nor of a predetermined historical block, but a question of alliances. Does the working class in potency choose itself the class and achieve autonomy by becoming the political class? There is an error and illusion here too, which Marx began to elucidate, but with less clarity and effectiveness than one might hope for. Marx said that by becoming a worldwide social class, the working class avoids heteronomies. It becomes the subject of a new social practice, the historical subject, in the words of Gramsci. It cannot and should not adopt any political position except for the purpose of constituting itself as a social class. For it is only as a constituted and therefore autonomous social class that it can transform society, change life, and abolish itself through the abolition of alienated labor, the division of labor and labor itself. The underlying reason for the working class's choice of option so far has been that its political representatives have offered only one key possibility, that constituting itself as a political class. This is a false option, a heteronomy. The moment the working class agrees to build itself into a political class, it denies itself. It hands over its capacities, its powers and power itself to those who represent it, the political apparatus, the party, the state. It allows substitution, a displacement of subjects and objects and of goals and interests, a displacement which is dangerous if not fatal to it. The tacit result of such substitution and displacement may well be partial or total renewal of previous relations of production under new names. What's the good in fighting to change the political system? It is only a question of changing the names. The working class should therefore only become politicized in order to supply itself with the means to bypass politics and cause it to wither away. It should not receive its own consciousness from outside, from a doctrine, an ideology, or a key political institution in the way that the Leninist model, grafted onto Marx, is prescribed. This only leads to state capitalism, a state bourgeoisie and state socialism, with the political party giving orders and instituting its own orders. What has happened over the last century demonstrates that there is internal contradiction within the proletariat. Is it hopeless then to believe that the working class, entranced by middle classes, by the state, by key political society, by growth and productivism, will be able to rediscover and recapture its own self-determination? It is not impossible. It will doubtless take years, decades to destroy the confusion, especially since it is by no means a simple matter of return to spontaneism. Today, self-determination for the working class to detach itself with full consciousness from the productivist ideology which is common for reasons which do not coincide to both state capitalism and state socialism. The aim is to take over development, to orient growth, recognize and control as such towards social needs. Whoever therefore talks about self-determination of the working class or about autonomy is also talking about self-management. Self-management of enterprises, units of production, and branches of industry within the framework of local and national markets and the world market is not going to be easy. Self-management implies control over the market and elimination of the market's dominance. This problem is aggravated by the dual character of self-management. In units of production on the one hand and territorial units, local communities, towns, regions on the other. It would therefore be a bit naive to sit and wait for the spontaneous upsurge of self-management, the day when the masses will have enough of the situation. Generalized self-management is prepared theoretically. When self-management has been posed as an axiom, theory can examine its implications and consequences. Self-management is a decisive but not exclusive aspect of the global project. It is worth noting therefore that in 1972 the so-called Socialist Party, eager to distinguish itself from the so-called Communist Party and to locate itself on the left of the ladder, which is decidedly conservative, accepted the idea of self-management. It is even more noteworthy that a large section of the trade union and workers movement, the CFTT, has been experimenting with this concept along with others in great outbursts of confusion. In such circumstances, subjective recrimination against the old world and the call for a new life which springs from it have the value merely of symptoms. This superficial leftism has demonstrated itself to be empty. The negation and denial of the everyday, not only of labor and the commercial product, but of all activity and all over. The pure subjectivity of desire. The search for a more profound productivity or creativity outside of social production, outside of the productive forces, outside of the relations of production and the transformation. This mass of subversive aspirations is in fact simply a vacuum seek. aims to be filled, offering us the spectacle of an illusory transition from pure desire and pure thought to pure will with no object, no project, and no trajectory. It does, however, have some bearing on the concept of subversion, which is bound up with and complementary to the classic concept of revolution. Symptomatically, any transgression which ceases to be an act and becomes a state is in fact no more than flight, needless to say, flight backwards. Transgression turns into retrogression. It is a prayer in the void, in spite of substituting imminence, life, immediate enjoyment for dead transcendence. It never gets beyond nihilism. It is a relapse into adolescence, manufactured by and accepting oppression, even a relapse into the infantile condition with its discursive fatalism. The rhetoric of desire and the rhetoric of death are united in their exteriority of the life which is being invoked. There comes a moment when, separated from the revolution, subversion, a form of voluntarism, which is unaware of itself or swears that it is not such, becomes the inversion of meaning. To consider not only the rational but the real alienation of desire is to deprive desire of the actual basis. For undifferentiated desire must pass through need and the test of diverse need in order to recognize itself as desire. The anti-Hegelian systematization of desire is in fact a rediscovery of Hegelianism and therefore destroys itself, just as the Hegelian system did. Under the label of death instinct or death drive, the unconscious systematized becomes the pretext for spirituality and a renunciation which mystifies the present. The appeal of the unconditional desire instinct is curiously reminiscent of a call for generalized violence. What good is it thinking, writing, or acting if one's only achievement is to continue that long series of self-destructions and fatal spells running from Jude, the obscure Antonio Arthur, or there is no chance at all of avoiding absolute self-destruction. Reproduction of relations of production. This concept falls into place in the works of Marx at the very same moment that he formulates the concept of capitalist system or mode of production. Nevertheless, he never completely disentangles it. He makes it explicit, though incompletely, in a chapter of Capital, which was left unpublished and which, as a result, has been rather more misunderstood even in the other chapters. Why? The question itself poses two additional ones. A. Why was it only at the end of his research in theoretical life that Marx understood that there is a problem concerning the reproduction of the capitalist relations of production, and that this problem does not coincide with the problem of their genesis and presentation? B. Why did the problem remain in the dark for so long afterwards, with the result that those texts of Marx which implied did not get rediscovered until recently? How and why has it got onto the agenda now? In capital and related works such as the renderings, Marx explained capitalism's historical formation, or rather pre-historical. His thought and his vocabulary are imprecise on this point. Although the inadequacies of his theory of primitive accumulation have by now become apparent, he conceived in terms of England, whereas the experience of the so-called socialist and so-called underdeveloped countries have revealed new aspects of this waiting process. It is one of the strong points of his conception. He demonstrates the genesis of the capitalist relations of production specific to bourgeois society, the capital-labor relation, surplus value, surplus labor, and the social surplus pro, duct, all taken over and managed by the bourgeoisie according to its class interests. As for capitalist mode production, in Marx's terms, this concept signifies the global result of the conflicted relations, wage capital, and proletariat bourgeoisie. These conflicted relations only enter into the social practice of bourgeois society through forms which contain and mask them. For example, the contractual form, the fictitiously free labor contract, which links the members of the working class to those of the bourgeoisie and supposedly associates them. This global result therefore also includes legal elaboration of relations of production, the codified relations of property, as well as ideologies which likewise express the conflicted relations while concealing them, political and cultural institutions, science, etc. It is interesting to note that here too, there is a certain ambiguity in Marx's thought and in his vocabulary. For a long time, he hesitated between the notion of the subject, was the subject constituted by society as a whole, or by some political subject such as the bourgeoisie or indeed proletariat, the notion of system, and the notion of mode of production. Marx seems to have thought that the concept of subject was too imprecise, although he did allow that it was possible to impute a particular political project to a particular class. He found the concept of system unquestionably too rigid. Mode of production had the advantages of system while avoiding the rigidity, and the advantages of subject without the ambiguity. One concept, the concept of production, is asserted forcefully throughout Marx's vast contribution, but this does not mean that it is simple, like the Cartesian concept. The same is true of the concept of accumulation. Over the century in which they become part of theoretical vocabulary and thought, they have shown just how complex they are. The formation of capitalism, that is its genesis and its history, implies critical analysis only of the production and reproduction of the means of production. What do these means consist of? First, they consist of productive forces, namely the workers themselves and their instruments of labor. The workers must reproduce themselves, have children, feed them, and bring them up so that they are capable of working in their turn. The growth of productive forces is therefore accompanied by population growth. Machines and sites, workshops, enterprises, etc., likewise use themselves up by transferring their values in money terms to products. The role of plant establishes the predominance of the primary sector, heavy industry, the extraction of raw materials, etc., in production. All economic growth therefore implies simultaneously the enlarged reproduction of labor and plant, in other words, a constant, fixed invested capital and a variable capital wages. Marx analyzed the proportions in which this process takes place. He showed that capitalism cannot realize the process without there being periods of conflict and spontaneous and self-regulation of the social mean. That is, economic crises, cycles, the money cycle, and the crisis recovery depression cycle tend to reproduce their original conditions, for without these there would be no cyclical process at all. Contractual stipulations between the exchanges and circulation of commodities between capitalists and wage earners, even internally within the family, national groups, etc., also tend to sustain and reproduce their original conditions. We are already moving away from the reproduction of the means of production. Let's draw a trivial analogy from everyday life. Sleep, resting time, plays a big part in the maintenance and reproduction of labor peak hour, means of production. But even when the context of sleep and quality of bedding and accommodation are taken into account, it still cannot be said that sleep as such enters into the reproduction of the social relations of production. But leisure certainly does. It would seem from the way in which the concept is presented in Capital and the associated writings that the reproduction, continuation of the constitutive social relations of the society is inherent in IT, except of course when the terminal crisis arrives and there is total proletarian revolution. There is no doubt at all that Marx judged this revolution to be inevitable, even imminent. Everyone knows how he predicted the coming of an entirely new communist society preceded by a transitional period, socialism. The political revolution itself had to precede and prepare this transition, which would be of indeterminate length and was to finally harmonize and guide the growth of productive forces, hitherto fettered by the capitalist mode and relations of production, according to determining and determined social needs. Why recall this thesis if it is so well known? What need to be demonstrated are the alternatives which colored Marxists think. In the either be bourgeois society continues or it collapses. Either the revolution introduces radically new social relations of production, liberated from the fetters and contradictions which hold back productive forces, or the old relations are perpetuated by a kind of inertia and turning on themselves. The revolution precedes the transition. Marx's analysis in Capital principally concerns the cumulative effects and the objective and subjective conditions of accumulation in every sphere including knowledge and technology. But above all, it concerns capital itself. How has the growth of productive forces been able in the course of history to overcome the obstacles put in its path by the existing social relations and their conflicted elements by the real? In dealing with this question, Marx seems to have thought that growth arises at a sort of threshold which he either condemns it to stagnation or which it crosses in a revolutionary manner. He certainly did not neglect the role of reproduction of social relations in the course of this cumulative process, but he included it in the process without any supplementary problematic. Of course, the phrase cumulative process is not used here to signify a simple accumulation of knowledge. For Marx, this was a subordinate aspect, and it only comes to the forefront during what is perhaps a momentary contraction in Marx's thought. The phrase signifies a much broader social practice, a more or less continuous growth in the ability of modern societies to control nature. Industry clearly is the means of this control. For Marx, control or domination of nature is inseparable from the adaptation of nature to man, although he sometimes has a presentiment of the destruction which might result from this domination. He never doubts that the quality of leap in the cumulative process is possible and necessary, and that it will break through capitalist social relations in order to ensure the continuation of the process itself. Marx was certainly not unaware of the fact that the relations of exploitation and alienation are reinforced by the relations of peace hour independence. He demonstrates in the Renderist that when the social relations are constituted, they do not yet appear in their reality and in their truth. They permit, even demand, a struggle against the pre-existing relations. The latter at the end of their run and out of breath are by now nothing more than relations of domination, maintaining the already outdated relations of exploitation by sheer violence. This is what happened in the long-term crisis that destroyed feudal society between the 16th and the 19th centuries. To use a modern term, Marx's work contains the theory of the obsolescence of societies, social relations, and means of production. It is important enough in the neglected aspect of its critical theory of power, another equally important and no less neglected aspect of this theory can be found in his critical analysis of the Hegelian notion of the state. It cannot be said, however, that Marx exhausted the question of power. He was not in a position to analyze its resources, its capacity for manipulation through constraint, violence, or through persuasion, ideology, nor the creativity of statesmen in institutional matters and forms. It is the political experience of the centuries since Marx that has disclosed power. It was in that Marx came up with the concept of total reproduction. Careful reading may possibly uncover other passages. The expression appears in a letter to Engels July, in which Quesnay's famous economic table is mentioned. In Marx's opinion, this table was more than a mere summary of the circulation of goods and money. He believed it to demonstrate how and why the process remains unbroken by reproducing its own conditions. The end of the cyclical process, that is the distribution of surplus value, reestablishes the beginning, following a complex set of linked movements, adjustments, exchanges, averages, etc. According to Marx, the problem can therefore no longer be as simple as the reproduction of the means of production, but the reproduction of the relations of production. This letter was written at the same time as Marx was drafting the unpublished chapter of Capital, which explored this new horizon. In this chapter, he confines himself to verifying that the relations of production are the unceasingly renewed result of the process of production, and that reproduction is also reproduction of the relations. He does not go much beyond generalizing the commodity as a commodity world in which capital reproduces IT self. He clearly opposes the pre-capitalist commodity to the commodity which reigns in the world market, the product of capitalism. Let's note briefly the new questions posed by this picture of generalized exchange. For example, how do we escape from the commodity world? Since this seems to be the milieu that fosters capital, third, since Marx, a part of what he predicted, the end of competitive capitalism has come about. His prophecies, however, have not been fulfilled according to the book. The collapse of free competitive capitalism has come about through the concentration and centralization of capital. But this process has given capitalism an unexpected elasticity and capacity for organization. It resists crises and revolutionary convulsions, and especially in advanced countries contrary to Marx's predictions. This collapse has given rise to an original and contradictory socialist process in several economically, industrially backward countries, and to neo-capitalism in highly industrialized countries. Marx's unitary conception has disintegrated. At the level of theory, the global learning presented in Capital has given way to fragmentary sciences, political economy, sociology, psychology, etc. Moreover, each of these sciences claims to be able by its own means to attain global truth, not to mention the truth. Meanwhile, dialectical thought clouds over and traditional philosophy condemned by Marx as he overtook it have made a comeback. In spite of the increasingly radical nature of the critiques made by this new philosophy, for example Nietzsche, it has degenerated into a pedagogy that has no revolutionary force. It has become part of the deep sea on specialization of intellectual labor which traditionally it has sought to transcend. For specialists in the so-called human or social sciences, the renewal of social relations simply does not arise as a problem. There is no need to even mention it. It is, both in regard to the expert and in the object of his knowledge. Social relations implied in facts are not even facts. It does not matter whether these robust champions of reality call themselves positivists or rationalists. They certainly don't waste time questioning facts to discover what is concealed within them or to try to understand how it is that social relations have lasted. B. Theoretical and historical importance, if you can call it that, of A. Max Weber or Durkheim derives from the fact that they discard such problems as soon as they arise. This has meant that for a long time they have been able to pass themselves off as scientific thinkers par excellence. The deep probing questions of Marx gave way to the poet. 47. Philosophers who have nonetheless been critics of the old philosophy. First Nietzsche, then Heidegger, and especially in France, surrealism. Nietzsche wondered how a society that is so base, so vulgar, so deceitful beneath its superficial satisfactions could last. For Nietzsche, the social, which is the location and the crux of human relations, always has something restricting and suspect about it. It is an attitude far removed from that of most Marxists, whose optimism concerning the social has withstood even the worst trials. The theoretical situation away from bourgeois learning in the workers' movement that calls itself revolutionary has not been much different from this. From the end of the 19th century onwards, the split ahead of this movement pointed to and prepared for what was to happen subsequently at a global level. For the revisionists, on the one hand, political power can and must serve to bend the existing relations towards a better society. This rightist tendency was opposed from the beginning by leftism, which in Rosa Luxemburg's reply to Bernstein, for example, responded by predicting catastrophe. Who was correct? Neither and both. Let's not go back to that internal debate. Neither the revisionist right nor the left which proclaimed the imminence of the final struggle. Reckoning with the reproduction of the relations of production. For the right, it went without saying that the latter were included in production and in the growth of production. These relations contained nothing which was so strongly determined that they could not be changed by parliamentary state power. For the left, these relations were always about to collapse in the revolutionary crisis. Right until the World War, and did Lenin and Trotsky having a perspective than that of the final crisis. Even if they do find it somewhat differently from Rosa Luxemburg and her extremist tendency, it seems not until after the end of the First World War and the October Revolution, not until after the defeat of the World Revolution and the difficulties of Soviet Russia when a new problematic began to appear. In filigree, in the writings of the two BAT revolutionaries, how had capitalism, which seemed morally wounded, being able to survive? What is the key to its reconstruction? Is it the economic base, the peasants and agricultural production, industry, the ambiguous class position of petty bourgeoisie, the national framework, the bureaucracy, state power, military violence, ideology, and without the reconstruction of the world capitalist market and the institutions essential to bourgeois society in great industrialized countries? Did not this reconstruction also involve an unforeseen reproduction of the capitalist relations of production in socialist Russia from onwards? The death of Lenin, the brutal expulsion of Trotsky, and the execution of Bukharin killed off theoretical research. Under S. Stalin, there was not even to be any theory of primitive socialist accumulation. Any critical consideration of the power of the SCSE, which Stalinism, as much as fascism had imposed, came under ban and was mercilessly punished. The difficulties of growth in socialist society had to be concealed. Accordingly, the growth of capitalist production was misrepresented, and its crises interpreted as crises of overproduction. As for the question of P hour, one simply refrained the name of the very Marxism which was inaugurated the critique of power from analyzing it, its means and its limitations, its possibilities and impossibilities. The theory of strategies could not be developed from this side, and on the contrary, official Marxists thought denied the existence of any such theory. Fourth, the problematic of the reproduction of the social relations of production emerged only belatedly from the work of an aberrant Marxist thinker, Wilhelm Reich, a double heretic and a psychoanalyst who turned the dogma of psychoanalysis against itself. He demonstrated that sexual and familial relationships have their counterparts in social relations. The family corresponds to the enterprise, the father is also the boss, and vice versa. Paternity, which includes authority, power, and control of the estate, corresponds to capitalist ownership of the means of production. The women, children, and domestic servants are both exploited and dominated. Reich did not see the bourgeois family as a consequence, of capitalist society as a whole. He inverted the picture, seeing the family as the central location where the global relations are produced and reproduced. It is a thesis which contains a certain amount of extrapolation. It hardly touches on the theory of surplus value or the social surplus product, but it has the merit of posing the fundamental question in its breadth. The generations come and go, men change, but the structural relations persist. How and why is this possible? Where is our reproduction produced? Although Reich reaches premature conclusions and tends to proceed from the parts of the whole, he nevertheless grasps both the problem and some of the answer. I shall refer to his theory and analysis again later under the heading of the generative nucleus. V, the lifespan of the Third International, a revolutionary organization transformed into a Stalinist institution, saw political thought and theoretical research completely crushed. From onwards, all questions were answered with the ritual formula known as the temporary stabilization of capitalism. The end of this temporary period was awaited daily, notably during the dramatic crisis of 1919. The denouement of this crisis, the rise of fascism, was interpreted as the imminence of the proletarian revolution in Germany and throughout the world. Afterwards, the communist movement evolved towards patriotism. Under the pressure of circumstances and by order from above, there was no theoretical explanation. There was supposed to be a distinction between revolutionary patriotism and reactionary nationalism, although this abstract distinction did not prevent practical confusion from arising. The role of the nation and the nation state in the reproduction of relations as divulged by Trotsky disappeared from the theoretical and political field. The answer to all questions, and indeed all questioning, came to be the course of history, the bearers of historical truth for the course of history and intention. Sixth essential question began to appear on the horizon following the Second World War, but with such amazing slowness that it did not actually emerge from the mist until after no less than 3 reconstructions of capitalist social relations within half a century were needed before these reconstructions could become the object of reflection of critical consciousness. F50. Transition from concern with the reproduction of the means of production to a concern with that of relations of production is seriously difficult, and the attempt to make it is as yet incomplete. The difficulty can only be accounted for by the obstacles, which have built up in front of critical thought and by the twists and turns which it has undergone. It has taken several decades to rediscover Marx's last discovery. Let us retrace our steps again and reconstitute the context, the landscape, and the language of the concept. For 20 years, following the post-war period, the critique of existing society became increasingly virulent and motivated. Likewise, the crises and critical moments became increasingly frequent. Yet its more or less radical critique of society was not sufficient to uncover the new concept. While denouncing bourgeois society and neocapitalism, while wishing to be radical, this critique has often brought out only one of society's odious traits and has obscured the whole meaning details of this particular one. It wants to be the symptom and herald of the final crisis. But the concept of the reproduction of the relations of production rests upon the totality, upon the movement of the society at a global level. Most of these analyses and difficulties are trying to extract the particular aspects which they have grasped and to raise them to the global level. The sociology of labor, for example, makes a study of the enterprise, but in so doing it often bypasses the problem. How are the capitalist relations of production perpetuated within the enterprise? And this in turn poses another problem. Can the relations of exploitation and domination, of authority and power, implying relations between those who make decisions and those who carry them out, be perpetuated in the workplace and in units of production alone? Do they not imply conditions exterior to the conditions of work? And if this is so, then where, how, and why does this reproduction take place? Since it coincides neither with production as such, nor with the reproduction of human and material means of production? By ignoring these questions, sociology of labor helps to obscure the problem and plays a role in ideology. Paradoxically, but in retrospect quite understandably, the new inquiry was in France inaugurated by pedagogical critique. This critique related both to teaching methods and to the content which was taught, gradually beginning with the mass primary school. It disclosed the characteristics of this teaching, the methods, the surroundings, and the organization of space, which reduced the people to passivity and getting used to working without joy, in spite of the story's claims to have reintroduced a living education. Pedagogical space is repressive, but the significance of this structure goes beyond mere local oppression. Imposed knowledge, ingurgitated by the pupils and regurgitated in exams, corresponds to the division of labor in the bourgeois society and therefore sustains it. This analysis, which developed out of CLS in France's discovery of active pedagogy, has led to today's pursuit of the institutional critique UUE. The school has thus lost the prestige which it gained during the 19th century. It no longer appears simply as an instrument of culture at school, with officialized functions of education and instruction. The pedagogical critique has revealed it to be the location of the reproduction of the social relations of production. The school prepares the proletarians and the university prepares the leaders, technocrats, and directors of capitalist production. Generations fashioned in this manner succeed each other in a society which is hierarchized and divided into classes. The institution is revealed to be purely functional and not without its dysfunctions too. School and university spread learning and model the young generation along the lines of the patrons, the pattern lines which are equally applicable either to the bosses or to paternity. The dysfunction arises at the point where the critical knowledge which is inherent in all learning stirs up rebellion. The elitist function of the university is superimposed on the mass function of the school and legacy. It filters the applicants, discouraging or discarding the deviants, and unlocking the door to the establishment. Thus, the primary, secondary, and higher levels of education (NLT) only re-enter the social division of labor as effects or products of it, which is what liberal moderate critique of education has tried to demonstrate. They are an integral part of it. They are among its causes and reasons, its functions and structures. They are subordinated to the various capitalist markets, the commodity market, which animates production, and the labor market, which supplies workers. And yet, the sociology of knowledge and sociology of education have not come up with any new concept. They go round and round in circles. George Gervich's sociology of knowledge, for example, is constituted around a catalog of the forms of knowledge in contemporary society, and a table or grid of the various opposed kinds of learning, empirical or rational, mystical or scientific, etc. More than any other sociologist, Gervich insisted upon global and upon the importance of class relations. What he wrote on the sociology of knowledge is outstanding. It is the best part of his own work and one of the most remarkable achievements of his time. But what he did not manage to establish was how knowledge contributes to existing society and to the extension of the society. Instead, knowledge appears to have its own structure. This structure possesses a kind of existence and reality. It intervenes, but where how? The structuralist tendency, quite literally, by means of inhibiting the dialectical critique, alternately stimulates and paralyzes reflection. And the sociology of education simply recoils in front of anything that analysis reveals to it. Like general sociology, it prefers to go outward elsewhere, anywhere, history, anthropology, mythology. It doesn't matter. For elements of explanation, anything rather than make a leap forward, the decisive step which would enable it to locate the educational and the political. The same social critique, for example, David, of the heterodetermination he is free, simple matter of vague human values. Growth, what interior determination, exterior, what self-alienation, dialectical reason, conflict between level. Thus confuses it much further. Humorous in male classes, its class supports. Is this the place to introduce the most general kind of critique? That of epistemology and methodology in the specialized sciences, and particularly in sociology? The answer must be yes, for the argument here reaches the level of the global and the total. It cannot be said too often that inconveniences of epistemology outweigh its advantages. By inconveniences, I mean an aspect which does not appear as such, which remains unformulated and consequently blocks the theoretical situation. At best, epistemological research simply isolates the nuclei of acquired knowledge, or those which are supposed to claim to be such. It therefore ratifies the division of intellectual labor which cannot help having some connection with the social division of labor, that is with the market for intellectual products. Within the broader framework of the commodity and capital market, in other words, the world market. In sociology as in history, however, epistemological reflection finds little that it can establish, that is raised to the level of the university establishment of respected and respectable knowledge. The most important and interesting aspect is undoubtedly the methodology of models. This is claimed to be absolutely scientific. The expert proceeds by constructing a model, putting the lived into parentheses, and extracting certain variables as few as possible from the chaos of its lived. He then reassembles these in such a way as to constitute coherence, which he substitutes for the lived incoherence and lack of cohesion. For example, order to explain revolution in general, and particularly French revolutions, the sociologist will construct a model of authority and of the crisis of authority. The model is made up of variables drawn from the family, the father, property, the state, etc. Good. A revolution accompanies or follows the crisis and establishes authority. This much is correct, for without such a crisis, nothing revolutionary happens. The model will therefore be true, but it is a trivial and general truth which is incapable of explaining any event in any revolution. Its sole meaning and aim is to liquidate critical understanding of bourgeois society and capitalism as such, by substituting for them a true, but actually false construction, or rather one which is neither true nor false. Since in trying to explain everything, it succeeds in explaining nothing. The methodology of models is only defensible if it is made extremely relative. A model is a temporary construction which is confronted with the real, with other models, thus reveal indiscrepancies rather than adequacies. Unfortunately, the builders of models often display an extraordinary and dogmatic arrogance. They proclaim their own model and above all the political model, like the SOV model of planning or the American prototype society model, to be absolute truth. But in existing society, the elements of every model, its parameters, variables, etc., are set aside. The methodology of models thus tends to eliminate both radical critique and the contradictions, the dialectic of the lived. It is incapable of rising to a level where it can grasp the total as the reproduction of social relations. For it contributes to that reproduction, it leaves aside certain advisable scientific operations. In fact, apart from the classic methods of induction and deduction, there is also transduction, the construction of virtual objects, the exploration of the possible. The work of even the best equipped professional as sociologists goes no more than halfway towards the concepts we are examining. Take the argue and Passeron, for example. In the Chartiers and even in reproduction, they examine how the leading personnel in bourgeois society are recruited. But their venture beyond the reproduction of the means of production, of which the agents of production are part, is incomplete. Since they study the leaders and not only the workers, they go further than the now American version of the sociology of labor, the industrial enterprise and education. But their social critique comes to a halt in front of the barrier erected by the cult of the empirical affidavit, the so-called sociological fact, and by liberal ideology inherent in this methodology. This kind of analysis of the form and transmission of knowledge overlooks the central problem of its content and its place in the division of labor. Many leftists, on the other hand, have sought to confuse all knowledge with class ideology. The professional sociologists do not succeed in mounting the warhorse, but the leftists vault right over it. The partisans of institutional analysis, however, lack neither audacity nor courage. They do not hesitate when faced with the consequences of their hypotheses. The limits of their thought are internal to it. They tackle the institutions only as separate items, and only to the extent that they are able to intervene. Intervention on the ground being the practice of their theory. Education and university, and sometimes the church, are therefore a privileged terrain for this approach. But how does one begin to make institutional analysis of the army, the judiciary, the police, the fiscal system, etc.? That is of the subsystems, members of the whole which as institutions are socially embodied. The reciprocal exteriority of these institutions is only apparent. Where is the whole situated? How can it be reached, grasped, defined? One can say that these institutions constitute a whole, that the bureaucracy and the state make up the sum total of existing institutions. But where and how can one grasp the exact relations and articulations between the whole and the parts? What is the position of the economic and political economy in this institutional analysis? One cannot simply abandon them in favor of a single institutionalizing and institutionalized bureaucracy. To show how an institution reflects or expresses a deeper or higher reality, whether it be the unconscious or the historical, bureaucratic society, or the bourgeois state, the economic or the social, is one thing. But to show how it contributes actively to the production and reproduction of social relations is another story. René Leroux, in Analyse institutionnelle, poses the question, but fails to solve it. Georges Lassade, in Groups, Organizations, Institutions, makes a start, but gets stuck back into general considerations of history and anthropological humanity. As a discipline, institutional analysis with its practical base of intervention, the group dynamic, cannot avoid oscillating as usual between ratification of the existing and the announcement of a catastrophic end through confrontation. Let us now turn to leisure. Henri Lefebvre demonstrated a few years back that a society of leisure, a club, which proclaims total liberation in the context of existing society and emancipation from the conditions and constraints inherent to the social. Life reproduces the relations of dependence and power, especially in the sexual sphere and in the space. His analysis leads toward the general theory of leisure as illusory emancipation and extension of capitalism, which makes an active contribution towards the consolidation of its essential relations. It is true that leisure, commercialized leisure, the constitutive of specialized space, marks an articulation of primary importance, but there is an enormous gulf between this partial socio-critical kind of analysis and general critical analysis. The social scientists, the specialists in fragmentary sciences, psychology, sociology, history, political economy, prefer to criticize Marx and Marxism, rather than to extend or deepen his radical critique in the light of new conditions. For Marx, the critique of society bears on and against competitive capitalism is an integral part of the theoretical, non-specialized whole. It takes some effort to extend this to the terrain of neo-capitalism. It is much easier to turn against the initiators than to take them further. As social critique, though a much more interesting and perspicacious phenomenon than social engineering, which is statistical, quantitative, and supplies the data being angst, is not entirely innocent in this respect. Its social engineering is quite obviously and deliberately placed at the service of the existing relations of production. As social critique, however, feeds off the bush, official Marxism, with its supposedly revolutionary phraseology and stereotype accusations against state and monopoly capitalism, seems to have rendered the deepening of Marxist thought useless, and this in no small measure accounts for the fact that it has thrived. The compromise sciences do not, however, disappear, like the institutions themselves. They are a tough bunch. Political economy, which has been disqualified in social practice and found guilty of supporting the existing society by functioning as ideology, yet incapable of seeing continuing to do so. As taking refuge in the university, where it continues to be taken seriously. There it sits, perched on a branch in the tree of knowledge, in spite of Marx's critique of political economy. In spite of the fact that he exposed it to be mere crumbs of knowledge in pieces, and ideology entangled with all too real practice, the distribution of scarcity and frustration. Specialists in this or that science defend themselves against the attacks of Marx, not himself a specialist, Nietzsche and others. It is their professions and crafts which they are defending as sociologists, historians, experts in political economy, etc. This is their right, and their duty towards their peers, forebears, collaborators, etc. does not imply that we have to dispute that title of expert, but it does seem as if science denies them from conflict. After all, does knowledge have the right to escape contradictions? Unfortunately for those specialists who approach Marx and others for not being specialists. Institutionalized science, decayed, mystified by epistemology, and justified by its epistemological nucleus, sooner or later collapses. Thus, the monetary crisis, which has been smoldering for several years, goes hand in hand with a crisis in both political economy and economic policy. The specialized knowledge and fragmentary practices, which have permeated the montage of so-called global and modal firm dissolution. 25 years on, it is easy to find ambiguities at the beginnings of the critique of everyday life. The book is an elusive one, elusive culture, leisure, and urban reality. The elusive imply what ought to be made explicit. Its ambiguity enables conflicting interpretations to be made, both extremist ones, the revolution in and through everyday life, everything all at once, and reformist ones, improve the status of the everyday, the quality of life. The criticisms which elicited were also conflicting ones. The rightist critique of scientificity, an attempt to be pure, and the leftist critique of action, an attempt to be tough. The interest of this concept, the everyday, became much clearer later on. The everyday, and not the economic in general, is the level at which neo-capitalism has been able to establish itself. It has established itself upon the soil of the everyday, that is upon something solid, the social substance maintained by political authorities. The concept of the reproduction of social relations, which in the critique of la vie quotidienne was implicit, emerges in full clarity through confrontation between critical analysis of the everyday, or urban phenomena, economic growth, and communism, linked spheres whose interconnection only became explicit through series of studies. By this negative root of confrontation, it attainable value which in itself is indisputable. A critical analysis cannot be blamed for proceeding slowly, for following the facts while stumbling over obstacles and skirting around the traps in a world which does not change as it is said to change, like Newton. In reality, what seems to change in the modern world remains stagnant, and what seems to stagnate changes. This involves some rules and limitations and some serious complexifications. What reveals itself in this process? A continent, to use a metaphor, a continent with its own dimensions, the every. Henri Lefebvre, critique de la vie quotidienne. Day, the urban, difference, or rather differences. They are uneven dimensions, unevenly charted, some are void, some developed. It is not the kind of continent which a navigator or solitary explorer sees looming out of the mist. It rises from the waves. The navigator cannot conjure up some magic spell. He has to pilot the ship into the midst of the reefs in order to reach the continent as it rises. No one can claim the distinction of having discovered it themselves. The concept rises together with the object, which is not constructed but born, in a multidimensional practice in spite of the attempts to reduce it. This happens and is produced all around us, you, him, them, men, and women. Nothing proceeds from the person who writes about this object in birth. Nothing begins or ends with him. All he does is bring together the given facts and concepts which others separate, having first sifted them through the theoretical and practical critique. In order to perceive and conceive what reveals itself, it is simply sufficient not to blind oneself. Following this brief reconstitution of the emergence of the concept and of its object, let us now confront the problem itself. First of all, though, is there actually a problem? The reply is suggested by the wording of the question, which aims at suppressing the problem ab ovo. Let us begin by examining this key articular attitude. 7 for some Marxists, the mode of production is the answer to everything. This concept, insofar as it concerns capitalism, has been omnipresent ever since it was first formulated in epistemology and theory, and it has eliminated or subjugated all others. It is carefully toughened up in the name of the perfect science. It is presented as totality, pre-existing that which it encompasses, including the social relations. These social relations are defined and conceived theoretically only within and by means of the mode of production. If, then, there is reproduction of the relations of production, this fact is not seen to require any explanation, nor is any need seen even to make it explicit. It simply means that the relations of production are inherent in the mode of production, and that the capitalist mode of production has not yet disappeared. Discussion would appear to be academic. Which came first, the relations of production or the mode of production? Actually, the discussion brings a lot more to play than initial glance at its terms might suggest. The problem is as follows: does capitalist society constitute, from its beginning, a closed system which can only either maintain its condition or collapse according to the principle of all or nothing? Has there been anything new in capitalism since it existed? Do Marx and Marxist thought represent the absolute knowledge of this capitalism, and if so, what should be included and what should be excluded from this science? Which aspires to be total science of the totality? There are numerous objections to make about the thesis that puts the mode of production first. For example, how does one date the mode of production as such? That is what historical moment should theoretical reflection consider it to have been. Constituted as totality, it is not an adequate hypothesis to state simply that it is there virtually as soon as one particular element is present. Commodity exchange through the intermediary money has existed since antiquity, and it took a very long time to subordinate exchange in kind. Marx demonstrated in the unpublished chapter that the worldwide extension of commodities and the market was a qualitative leap. He noted that medieval town already contained journeymen, workers deprived of the means of production, who sold their labor time to the local bourgeoisie and the masters of the corporations, and who were therefore paid according to their labor time. In the 17th century, capitalism and the bourgeoisie were in the ascendant and were involved in great political battles. In the 18th century, that ascendancy was strengthened with the replacement of artisan manufacture by industry. This concrete history of primitive accumulation took place amidst a specific interconnection of continuities and discontinuities. It appears to us as a series of highly dramatic displacements, substitutions, and transfers of wealth and power. Subjects and agents confront and attack each other, while knowledge, techniques, and wealth, in short, capital and conditions of bourgeois society, accumulate around them and by means of them. If then there were events and transformations like these for centuries, and therefore something beyond mere imposition of the structure, what do we say about the end of the 19th and the whole of the 20th century? What Marx disclosed was the genesis and constitution of competitive capitalism. Was the mode of production already a reality then? To answer no implies that competitive capitalism, with its laws and its blind self-regulation, was at that time as still not capitalism. To answer yes creates utter confusion. How in that case could we explain the transformations of capitalism, the collapse of competitive capitalism, the ascendancy of state capitalism, and its confrontation with state socialism? In other words, how could we explain anything that has happened since the publication of Capital? The rigidly dogmatic total concept evacuates history will without further ado, and if one insists on the problem of history, one will find that dogmatism has evacuated even the problem itself. Its result in advance is an inadmissible question. One never suspected that such dogmatism was theosophical. The requisition and inquisition of knowledge that claims to be absolute, philosophically legitimated by the top solid, acquired nucleus of epistemology, obscure spontaneity and power, the former being that which survives blindly, and the latter being that which intervenes consciously but from beyond science. The self-sufficiency of knowledge, upheld by degenerate philosophy in the name of epistemology, is a barrier to the understanding of the world and the social as they actually are. Only that which tends to filter back into pure knowledge is deemed worthy of consideration. In this perspective, the lived sources, and is stowed amongst the ideological illusions and misrecognition of self in the everyday. The concept without life is substituted for the lived without concept. It is a retreat to the Hegelian conception. As for power, it does not like being conceived of. Since it cannot be reduced to a concept, it is respected, and that is all it asks for. This treatment of the lived and the power is by no means even-handed, however. Power is left in peace in the shadows, while the shadows of the lived are swept aside. Thus, the rigidification of a Marxist concept such as mode of production or any other, and the systematization which arises from this as a separately held concept, destroy Marx's key perspective, which is to understand what is happening in order to transform it, to seize the lived in order to be a path towards life. As some people find this systematic attitude with its positive or empirical foundation to be attractive, the discourse hardens and is clarified. The old Cartesian clarity revitalized in the refrigerated head becomes intense once more. One moves from certainty to certainty, nothing elusive. One speaks about what one is familiar with and writes what one knows about a certain science. However, the situation will soon be turned upside down. The knowledge that claims to be pure and absolute is a circle, vicious at first, and then infernal. And one turns in it. The much maligned live reaches its vengeance eventually. A gap opens up between sense and nonsense. The latter is defined not only as unthought or that which is badly thought, but as a whole world, including joy and suffering, action and passion. One soon notices that because one knows about what one is talking of, one can say absolutely anything one likes about everything else too. About everything that does not form part of the circle of possessed knowledge where thought shelters. At this point, the systematization denounced here becomes the motivation for resorting to a thought which, like Marxist thought, knows how to avoid the dangers of fetishing knowledge. Thought such as Nietzsche's, for example, the instinct for knowledge without discernment is, like blind sexual instinct, a sign of baseness. What defines the vulgarity of pure knowledge is the fact that the necessary becomes sufficiency. It is a quality of baseness, which can only be appreciated from the point of view of the forsaken lived. In Nietzsche, poetry, and the tragic, no major inconvenience arise provided that the champions of ideal knowledge concern themselves with physics or biology. The rest of the world outside will sooner or later remind them of their own limitations. But when they concern themselves with civilization, with culture, or quite simply with events, that's when it becomes disastrous. Power, a P politicians, technocrat, T as the military, in various combinations according to the conjuncture, soon finds J justifications for itself in knowledge. And power recognizes no limits. Systematic usage of the term mode of production contributes nothing and changes nothing in relation to the attitude of the classic Marxist thinkers who follow Marx. Capitalism continues. It will last as long as it lasts. When it has disappeared, it will have disappeared. No change. Nothing changes within the mode of production, which itself is immutable. Only the details of how it is managed change. The only change that has taken place is that the notion of process, first historical and then of economic process, has been replaced by the notion of structure. And the changeover from state capitalism to state socialism has been presented as a break, a discontinuity, even though it has all the characteristics of a highly structured continuity. The more or less unconditional emphasis placed on mode of production does not only freeze Marxist thought. It has another bearing. This is that incoherence of priority over contradiction is turned into a criterion. The thought which is attached to the conditions of an object and to its construction, constitution, and institution valorizes the cohesion and particular coherence of the object. At the expense of anything conflicted in the object or in the thought itself, the extent to which this kind of thought is linked with the tendencies of society, which seeks consistency by trying to get rid of what is. Gnawing at its foundations is yet one more piece of evidence showing how far this can develop. The relations of production contain contradictions, and especially class capital wage contradictions, which are enlarged into social bourgeois proletariat and political governing contradictions. O'Neill cannot show how the relations of production are reproduced by emphasizing the cohesion that is internal to capitalism. One must also and above all show how the contradictions are enlarged and intensified on a worldwide scale. The attempt of a sad theoretical practice to superimpose the mode of production on the relations of production. As coherence upon contradiction having one aim to liquidate contradictions and evacuate conflicts, or at least the essential ones. By obscuring what happens to and results from these conflicts, the dialectic is liquidated precisely at the moment when fundamental theoretical interrogation is called for. The relation between coherence and cohesion on the one hand, and see conflict and contradiction on the other. The relation between logic and dialectic and knowledge itself, as knowledge, is of primary importance today. Does knowledge transcend contradiction, or does not it too contain internal external contradictions, both in itself and above all in relation to the world of the lived, of misrecognition and misrecognized? All thought goes through ideological contortions trying to free. Since its concept of overdetermination, this needs to be dealt with in the ironic mode, that is to say, as farce. This concept or pseudo-concept which originated in psychoanalysis has been transported or rather deported far from its birthplace. It is an attempt to take care of the conflictive, leaving a little something to be getting on with, by superimposing a coherence on it, subordinating it to cohesion and consistency of the total. It appears that every contradiction reflects in itself its conditions of existence in the complex whole, its situation and its structure. The contradictions of the factual situation can only be conceived in its relation to the de jure situation, as a variation of the structural invariant in dominance, that is the determining instance, which dominates facts and situations of fact. Is it contradiction in general, or a particular contradiction which dominates? Neither, for it appears that contradiction is dominated by the whole. If you can understand it, good luck to you. H. How can the invariants of the totality support variations, especially those which bear the title of contradictions? How can a contradiction be reduced to a variation in the structured whole? What or who is he talking about? Are these contradictions exceptions to the rule, or to the ideal type, such as the general model of capitalism? Are they nations? Are the actions by economists such as chains or changes internal to capitalism? It seems not. Maybe he's talking about the socialist societies and their specific differences. Wrong again. In from Marx, Lefebvre follows remarks about the complexly structurally unequally determined totality with its consideration of egalitarian or non-egalitarian totality in general. What he is doing here is to legitimize Marxist political practice by giving a theoretical account of its variations. These variations are seen as the concrete restructurings registered in the play of each category and the play of each contradiction. Read the text closely, and you will find that these variations move from Lenin by Stalin to Mao. It is a curious reversal. One is supposed to proceed from the mode of production. But instead of analyzing capitalist mode of production, starting out from Marx, Althusser looks at the political practice in which Marx's name is invoked. See, L. Althusser, from Marx. Compare this, ironically, with Costas Axelos's fragmentary and fragmented totality of the multidimensional world in the Udemon 1969, p. 157, 64, and considers it to be already internal to the socialist mode of production. At long last we find out who and what Althusser is talking about. Political practice, that of the party, accompanied by its theoretical practice, which is the elaboration of experience apparently within the party, the collective thinker. It's all clear now. Or is it? For Marx was completed in 1963. Since then, however, fate cruel blows have struck the theoretical practitioners yet again. The political practice which invokes Marx's name has fragmented. This was the case, it must be admitted, even before 1963, both views of opportunism and the attempt to reintegrate the negative and critical negativity into Marxist thought had been dogmatically excluded from theoretical practice. But this was a minor affair. After 1963, however, came the split between the Soviets and the Chinese. This was something that could not be played down. The theoretical formula by which political practice is already a part of the future that is of the socialist mode of production proved to be somewhat unfortunate. Theoretical practice, with its scientificity and its unequivocal epistemological rigor, had excluded in advance the possibility of any such split arising. This aspect of structuralized Marxism is not for a moment important as the fact that it avoids the problem of reproduction of the relations of production. It simply repeats, redundantly, the definition of the mode of production. Capitalism is capitalism, a tautology which substitutes itself for analysis of changes in capitalism. Changes which cannot be reduced to variations around the structural invariants. What happens in capitalism is supposed to be understood by analogy either with the past T, what remains of history, or with the anticipated future, what remains of political foresight. Incoherence becomes methodological under the heading of rigor. Let's take a concrete example of urban phenomena. According to the structuralist view, one would call these phenomena an integral part of the capitalist mode of production. There are the production complexes and enterprises on the one hand, and the urban agglomerations on the other. In the latter, the labor power necessary to the enterprises is reproduced. Consumption has only one meaning, the reproduction of labor power. Therefore, the SCR structure of mode of production at this level, which is overdetermined by the whole, is described as the relation between two broad groupings of units, enterprises and units of production on the one hand, and consumption units. The towns which are complementary to the units of production on the other. This structural non-dialectical analysis is not false. It is not true either. It is trivial. It bears no date. It can be true or false anywhere and everywhere. In an English town at the end of the 18th century, in a modern megalopolis, on an industrial housing estate, or in some city out of ancient mythology. It can be seen as an application of the CMP, capitalist mode of production, to a partial phenomenon which the CMP overdetermines. In this case, one can easily end up believing that one has discovered the urban phenomenon, and this would be another of the illusions of scientific discourse. The only way in which discourse can avoid being ideological is by sliding into platitude. It goes without saying that structuralism evades the key question of the reproduction of the relations of production by reducing it to a commonplace and self-perpetuating component. The reproduction of labor power, means of production. There is no mention of any of the urban phenomena which appear or disappear over 2 centuries. These, after all, are minor details beside the structured whole within which nothing happens, since it is present as a whole from the beginning. Rigorous conclusions can always be drawn from the rigorous interlinking of tautological propositions. One simply has to evade the essential fact, which is that the precise location of the reproduction of relations is the pre-capitalist historic city, fragmented but inserted in a wider urban space. Finally, the structuralist hypothesis identifies mode of production with system and presents capitalism as a system well constituted with all its organs present from birth. Let us oppose the speculative construction with the following hypothesis. There is not and never has been an accomplished system. Only an attempt at systematization, coherence and cohesion on the basis of the relations of production and their contradictions. The men action, the statesmen, have always tried to reduce these conflicts or at least to attenuate their consequences. They take various levels and dimensions in their reckonings such as ideology, institutions, language, the contractual system, etc. They rely on regulating mechanisms to try and draw some cohesion out of the chaos of contradictions. The system is not yet and never has been accomplished. It will be accomplished at the end, not at the beginning. That is, the end, which it both precipitates and conceals, will permit it to appear accomplished. For when systematization begins to succeed, it means that the fragmentation which this will provoke is just around the corner. Finality conceals decay. The end can only be defined by the decay or collapse of the structure, not by the structure's changing hands, which is how some people envisage the changeover from state capitalism to state socialism. In fact, the process will probably be less catastrophic than the first hypothesis suggests, total collapse, but more eventful in the second, a mere changing hands, barring accidents, that is. Under cover of the epistemological break, the structuralist Marxists make a heavy-handed attempt to link capitalist technocracy with so-called socialist technocracy. In the structuralist functionalist view of Marxism, the reproduction of the relations of production is reduced to a simple strengthening or reduplication of these relations, through the intervention of the state and its ideological and repressive apparatus. Among its particular powers, power posses as being able to reduce the contradictions once it has grasped them. This reducing power is the state's. It does not belong to scientificity, however much the latter use the reducing power in its models. More precisely, this view of Marxism states that there is a level of determination at which the economic contradictions reveal themselves. The state intervenes at the instant which produces or partially resolves these conflicts according to the interests of the hegemonic section of the bourgeoisie and the capital. A relative coherence can therefore be established at this level. There is also a level of overdetermination. This implies crudely the distance between the various instances between economic interests and key political interests. It is the state, the political instance whose field of action is. The interests of the hegemonic section are originally economic ones, but precisely as a result of this, they are built up into political and general interests which appear to be those of the country, the people, the nation. The ideological apparatus conceals the exploitation and oppression of those classes which are not hegemonic. The autonomy of the various instances and levels is reduced, but at the same time it is made use of, and the distance between them is respected. But this then means that there is cohesion and system at a level of overdetermination too. The relative coherences of both levels reinforce each other. According to this view, the reduction of contradictions is achieved at the ideological level by the effectiveness of the apparatus and the ideological instances. What is the result? First, only one problem is left, the problem of the reproduction of ideology. Secondly, the mechanism of instances and levels finds itself putting some of the classical theses of Marxism-Leninism into a perfected form by borrowing from functionalist ideology. Thirdly, this thesis absolutely forbids any new facts to appear within the framework instituted by the mode of production. Eighth, in order to pose the problem which the theoretical key position criticized above evades the problem of the reproduction of social relations, it is necessary to proceed from the total to the particular. We must search for the explanation over an extremely wide range of social phenomena. The recourse to ideology is nothing new, and it's hardly worth mentioning. For half a century, ever since October, whatever has happened that has not corresponded to hopes and predictions have been explained away by reference to the ideological pressure of the adversary. The effectiveness of ideology is undeniable, but it is limited. It masks the contradictions for and in consciousness in representations. At worst, it postpones the effects of these contradictions. It cannot suppress them. Clearly, without the growth of productive forces in the population, ideology would never be able to maintain relations of production. It can only conceal their reproduction. Today, the debate about the concept of ideology is at an impasse. The dogmatists believe that science can be free to read now from all ideology. The hypocrites believe that knowledge is only raw appearance, and that so-called science is merely the ideology of the society. In fact, the question of ideology and neocapitalism should be reconsidered in light of certain texts of Marx, which, although they deal with competitive capitalism, have not lost their relevance. Marx explains that in capitalist society, political state, power is capable of simultaneously joining and disjoining under its own control the elements of society. These elements, i.e. land, ownership of debt, soil, labor, and capital, are closely linked, but they are made to appear separate, and are maintained as sources of distinct kinds of revenue. This appears to legitimize the revenue of capital, and conceals the fact that it actually consists, like revenue from soil, landed property, of surplus value. This means that there is a direct connection between socio-political practice and its representations, the ideologies of separation and distinction. The representations conceal a concrete situation while expressing it in their own particular way. One cannot dissociate ideology from practice by presenting it separately. There was a fairly precise period, the 20 years from during which systematizations based on one particular fact or a combination of amplified facts could certainly not be called scarce luxury goods. Systems proliferated, whether they were formed badly or well, to such an extent that it was difficult for impartial critique to find any indications that they were a social product in spite of the labels they carried. They germinated, grew, and rotted on the spot like plants. Their promoters deliberately eschewed discussion and polemic and relied on sort of natural selection. The more robust of the small systems were to reach maturity and eliminate the rest. This gave rise inversely to the science of the general systematic, whose project it was to study all these flora. He proceeded from a distinction between the systems which had germinated naturally on social soil, the contractual, juridical, financial, and pedagogical systems, etc., and factitious systems, the philosophies, elaborated discourses, institutionalized fine arts, morals, etc. Some of the systems put into circulation during this period were to achieve fame. Levi Strauss, for example, set out from the extrapolation and reduction of anthropological facts, the cataloging of kinship relations, dealing with them according to a combinatory model. Thus, anthropology, a particular and specialized science, was hoisted to the level of the general. The sweep and the boldness of its attempt were, of course, tempered by academic prudence. It was never properly followed through as a polemic. Why then dig it up? The reason for doing so is the privileged role which this particular system played during the period under consideration. For more than a few systematic minds, it served as a referential in place of the old philosophical, moral, and theological references which were disappearing at the time. As a result, it has directly or indirectly diverted researchers away from any investigation of see on temporary society. It represents a theoretical drift, flung in the middle of some research into education or contemporary institutions we find, not involving with the central questions power of the state, but something about myths or primitive societies elevated to the status of criteria or epistemological models of the present, with a bit of linguistics and psychoanalysis thrown in. This is the supreme example of an ideological attitude going under the banner of scientificity. It diverts or rather bypasses the essential. Knowledge is a drift. So what is the essential? It is in no way a philosophical essence distinct from excisense or metaphysically united with existence. It is the reproduction of the social relations. That is the ability of capitalism to maintain itself during and beyond its critical moments. Let's be as clear as possible about one thing. It is a problem which has been pushed aside and quite literally repressed. The recourse to anthropology, like the recourse to psychoanalysis, amounts to a refusal. One must assume that the problematic was supposed to have been resolved in advance. In the unconscious of psychoanalysis or in the universal commentary of Levi Strauss, in which case our problematic has no meaning, no object, and in fact the point is not to find an object anyway. While Levi Strauss' attempt of vast synthesis based upon the reduction of social structures to mental structures, considered as invariants, and while Moles has attempted a different kind of synthesis based upon cybernetics, the two attempts may eventually link up, at least they don't compete. There are several partial systematizations deriving from Marxism which nonetheless retain some interest. It is as if this aggregation of Marxist thought, and especially official dogmatic Marxism, had released certain elements which this or that thinker could then adopt in order to attempt generalization. Here and there we come across the traces of systematic elaboration and alienation, in spite of the fact that this concept can be particularly rebellious against the system. Herbert Marcuse, for example, has taken production in industrial societies in its wider sense. He has tried to show what patterns and ideas and techniques in general intervene in productive activity. The result of the practical system which is positive and closed, with no end and no negativity, other than that of isolated and desperate groups. The system is that of American society. Jean Viardot in France has attempted a somewhat different kind of systematization, which proceeds from exchange value and the commodity. The world of commodities, that is the world of exchange value, unfurls with its own logic and reduces use value to the use of signs. The world of signs replaces the world of things. Signs themselves are the support of social relations. They are the objects of exchange. It is a world which dialectics itself, diffusing sea contradictions and conflicts. It puts an end to what was once history, but at the same time forces the present to return to the past in order to change it into signs. In this way, the consumer society appears to absorb its apparently insurmountable divergences, rendering them harmless. This hypothesis, like the preceding ones, takes the renewal of the social relations for granted. One of the most interesting attempts is that of Costas Axelos, who has indicated better than anyone else what the limits of this systematization are. Axelos has had the insight to disengage one of the factors in the modern society with tendencies towards least apparent autonomy, technique, and technicality. He proceeds further and more boldly than Heidegger, demonstrating how Marx formulated the concept of technique and defines its importance and its role in both industry and economic growth. He employs this thesis to indicate how there is a certain order in Marxist thought in the emergence and clarification of this key articular concept. But having done this, Axelos cannot get beyond the impasse. His consideration of the problematic reconciliation between technique and nature, philosophy and history, thought and society, simply puts the problem of reproduction into parentheses. It leaps over the problem in one bound, going straight from capitalism to the problem of man in the world. Can the economic, in general, economic reality supply us with the answer? Economic reality has lasted, and it is right to look for causes of this, but simply to say that the economic, Costas Axelos, Le du monde, can account for the continuation of socio-economic relations is just another tautology, or rather is a simple statement to the effect that the perpetuation of facts can be attributed to their natural inertia, their normal character. This evades the problem. If economic reality has lasted, it is because it contains certain self-regulations. From capital onwards, Marx had at least begun to study these devices and had shown how they involve conflicts. What he tries to show is that until the political revolution, the principles of cohesion cannot exterminate contradictions, nor can these contradictions be eliminated by regulating mechanisms. Such mechanisms are blind and spontaneous. Here one comes across the logic dialectic articulation again, which we already referred to as one of the most difficult questions at the methodological and theoretical level. The economic at one time contained an internal form of self-regulation, which resulted from the social relations of production under competitive capitalism. These relations generate social means, prices, average rate of profit, etc. But what happens to these devices under capitalism organizations, otherwise known as state monopoly capitalism, which is by no means an organized capitalism? They do not disappear. They are given fancy names, feedback, homeostasis, etc. And to a certain extent, therefore, they become known and recognized. But how useful is this knowledge? The experts rightly hesitate before attempting an answer, for either answer is possible. Be off if this knowledge is employed to make prudent interventions in the economic sphere. The self-regulation will be thrown out of gear, the neoliberal answer. And this knowledge will enable us to keep the spontaneous processes under control, the neo-Burgese answer. The economic itself simply sends us back then to political economy as a science, and to economic policy as a practice and technique. And we can only verify the bankruptcy of this science that seeks to be global, and the bankruptcy of the technique which is linked with it. So-called economic science evades our problem like an ideology. If social practice sustained growth has enabled the social relations to be renewed, he, a political economy, is incapable of giving account of this. Either it has contributed blindly as an ideology to this reproduction, or it has passed by the problem on the opposite side of the road, keeping its eyes fixed above on those. The useful models of equilibrium growth, or radical equilibrium growth, for example, the ideal unity between full employment and price stability. Let's now turn to the theory of the generative nucleus as the cause of the maintenance of the relations sought in phenomenon or group of particular, not global, phenomena. This theory cannot and should not be confused with that of the epistemological nucleus, for it is situated within the lived, not on some trajectory of pure concepts. It is associated with the work of Wilhelm Reich, for whom the man-woman relation generates all the relations of dependence, domination, exploitation, and inequality, and therefore power. This thesis has recently been taken up again with great intensity by the theoreticians of the women's movement. The great positive minds appreciate this offensive, regarding it from on high as an intrusion into the serenity of knowledge. When King attacks valid ideology and mythology in contemporary science and literature, the attack has a theoretical bearing. Anthropologists, ethnologists, sociologists, psychologists, psychoanalysts, notably Freud, have ignored half of the human species and have replaced it with a phantasmagorical image. Even the greatest of them do so, including those who one might expect to be incapable of this kind of recognition. TT theoretical attack cannot fail to be important at all levels. So many writings from now on are going to appear in a different light. Epistemology, which merely sanctions that which I give a moment in mistakes for absolute knowledge, will find the attack unstoppable. However, this broadly motivated aggression skirts around some crucially important questions. Although King and her allies attack the mythology and ideology of valid power, they do not attack the language of power. This has more than the phallus for a symbol. It has the regard, height, culture, monumental, and centered space. Philosophy cannot be identified with hypocrisy or modern democracy, whether capitalist or socialist. In isolating the sexual relation and symbolism, and humorously rejecting the image of feminine is void and absence, Hegel also bypasses the question of difference to the everyday. The urban and the reproduction of the essential relations, she, he, and free men and others often penetrate these slippery slopes without seeing connections or global configuration. This eruption of the female is authenticated by practical struggles and has opened up a radically new path. The body makes its reappearance as one of the elements and foundations of subversion rather than some knowledge or other. Youth, the female, working people today, and the non-labor of tomorrow. This is the whole body. The total body which will finally intervene, and not some epistemological corpus or some socially constituted institutional body. The sexual relations simultaneously reaffirmed and endangered in the family cannot adequately account for the state. While it is true, as Marx said, that private property cannot be suppressed without the family being suppressed, it is untrue to suggest that the existence of the family is sufficient to maintain private property. How is the social surplus product accounted for? The social surplus product being, let us repeat, surplus value at the level of society as a whole. It is enormous in modern capitalist society like the United States. How is it available, allocated, and distributed? By and for whom? While relations of subordination among individuals and groups between sexes or within families are a necessary part of the explanation, they are not adequate. The social division of labor intervenes even in biological and physiological sexual relations. The question of the child is still of prime importance within sexuality itself. Here again, theory tends to proceed by means of extrapolation and reduction, as a partial truth that changes into global error. Brilliant and spirited as it is, the attack from this angle can easily end up in cul-de-sac. The same is true of morality and value systems, or the mass media and the information which they carry, or the production of the spectacle in and through the visual image. These ensembles or sub-ensembles of facts play a necessary part in explaining how society, which on several occasions seemed condemned to immediate collapse, has survived, but they are not adequate. They themselves need to be explained. Here again, the systematic studies which have been made of these facts have a seed or retained importance. The property of television is allegedly not to transmit and overpower massive information, but chiefly to reduce the spectator to the passivity of pure contemplation for regard in front of the little screen. It is also to induce a series of intellectual operations, message reception, and decoding, which imply acceptance of the network, the channel, and therefore its whole social framework. This is the common position of the guide board in France in society of the spectacle, and McLuhan in the United States, which holds it in his own way. The board describes and criticizes what McLuhan celebrates as revitalization, the production of the world of spectacle, but this can surely be no more than an organ in the service of a much broader and more constricting activity. No more can be attributed to it than to bodily gestures. They are fashioned and broken by the existing real, but are they sufficient to maintain it? The best examples of the theory of the generative nucleus are those which are allied to tactical preoccupations. Society, like any of the more developed living organisms, is said to contain one or several vulnerable key agents. Anyone can reach this crucial center will be able to paralyze existing society and kill off the ruling class. One of the leftist tendencies has allotted its role to foreign workers in their relation to French capitalism through the mediation of specialized institutions and reception structures. Politically speaking, it is a more intelligent theory than many other leftist theses. The relation between this foreign workforce and the French proletariat, including the latter almost exploited and humiliated. Elements, particularly women, is a very general and very important relation, and has its counterpart counterpart in all the big capitalist countries. Unfortunately, experience, however well conducted politically, has not shown this nerve point to be particularly vulnerable. If, therefore, the search for generative nucleus is a failure, perhaps it would be more correct to blame knowledge or cultural language for the maintenance of relations. There are plenty of experts who regard it as outrageous that knowledge should be accused of possessing such social and political effectiveness. The neutralist thesis that knowledge is above societies and classes, and indeed that it is the conductor of societies and classes, has always been lurking around. Sustained by the contrary thesis that so-called knowledge represents a class ideology. The institutional critique that has been pursued in France since before one asserts that knowledge in itself, quite apart from the ideologies and representations which it conveys and which are grafted onto it, may act socially and politically and particularly epistemology or the specialized knowledge which is linked to practices and techniques such as psychoanalysis, planning, etc. How can the intellectual division of labor be maintained outside the social division of labor that is the market? How can it be spontaneously determined as a purely technical division external to the social division of labor that is the pressures of the market, or rather several markets? This arrogant technocratic thesis has not withstood the test of critique or of evidence, even though authors have supported it. The ancient humanist and encyclopedia university with pre-industrial origins has disappeared and been recast in terms of the existing society, though not without coming into conflict with democratism, which cannot be so easily dispensed with in France. It may be that knowledge itself is the dorsal fin of existing society playing in public tomorrow, the role which it took on yesterday somewhat more discreetly. It's hardly surprising to find that knowledge has become a productive force immediately, and no longer by way of intermediaries and mediations. This is one Marxist formula that has been confirmed over and over again. It may even be true to say that pure knowledge has become the axis of technocratic state capitalism as well as technocratic state socialism. It may serve as a common measure of the real world. It may be the guarantee of change from a society which is manipulative of people, of needs, and of its own aims, to a society which is even more smoothly manipulative. It may thus serve the reproduction of relations of production be beyond the mode of production from which those relations were born. This is merely a strategic hypothesis. The rejection of all knowledge as a whole, not simply what aspires to be pure knowledge, in the name of pure spontaneity, leads to neo-barbarism. The relation of knowledge to critical knowledge, and of critical knowledge to the critique of knowledge is of great importance, and we shall have to return to it at length. The fetishism of absolute knowledge crushes the lived, but it is futile for the lived, and the immediate to attempt to shake themselves free of knowledge. It is not a simple question balancing the two extremes. There must be an attempt to elaborate a better position, a root for civilization between rationalized barbarism and irrational barbarism. But knowledge can be neither defined nor located without an understanding of language and discourse. Contemporary thought has tackled this question upside down. It has made discourse subordinate to knowledge, constituting linguistics and its dependence, semantics, and semiology as absolute knowledge. In the name of which one extracts from current language the relative knowledge which it cloaks. The real problem is the inverse one, to examine pure knowledge as an instance of language and discourse. Only Nietzsche opposed the problem of language directly, because he set out from real discourse and not from a model. And because from the beginning he linked meanings with values and knowledge with power, that is the will to power. In fact, all power condenses, uses, and manipulates values. Modern thought, above all in France, has imprudently followed this down the slippery slope of systematizing language and in a complementary manner, setting up a philosophical systematization on the basis of the study of language. Theoreticians, such as Foucault, attempt to demonstrate the concrete existence of an abstract system, within and by means of which one exists socially through discourse and by discoursing. And there are other theoreticians who do not regard speech as enough. They have to add writing, graphics, the image, etc. These analyses fail almost as far as transforming a supposition into a certainty, i.e., the major role which discourse and the knowledge inherent in all discourse, whether everyday or specialized, plays in the unthought, unconscious, or misrecognized prolongation of social and political relations. Yet this truth is never, or almost never, made explicit. Perhaps all the specialized sciences have at some time hesitated in front of the truth and theoretical concept which they were about to discover. The experts being immediately seized with panic, recoiling before truth that was about to condemn them. And the reason for the leap backwards, what causes them to recoil, is the lack of critique of knowledge, which is not the same thing as renunciation of knowledge. These sciences miss the connection situated at the global level between knowledge and power. The scientific mind fails to see how and where language and discourse depend on power and maintain it. Particularly in the specialized sciences of language and discourse, like all institutions, discourse and language are covalent. They convey needs and desires, poetry and ideology, symbols and concepts, myths and truths, but especially they convey the conditions of state power. Its signs and keywords, and this means that they see contribute to the reproduction of relations of production. The sphere and means of power would seem to be Foucault's intricate in its strongest sense forbidden. As interdict lies between what is said and what is not said, it is intermediary, and therefore the veil is not lifted. Hence the recoil. One retreats into myths, classifying critical Marxists studying archaeology of knowledge somewhere on a shelf labeled 19th century. One busies oneself with subject, man, and one, on. The only other thing one needs to do is cut it out with rather noisy echoes of one's own discoveries, having failed to discover what actually lay under one's fingers. It is simply fear, the least particle of all fears, intellectual panic. If we are to accuse knowledge or language of something as serious as the reconstitution of the social relations of alienation and exploitation after a historical moment of collapse, then we cannot let culture escape unscathed. A culture, whether it is elite or mass culture, is no more capable than ideology or discourse acting by itself. Cultural consumption of the artistic past or of the neo-realism, classicism, etc., would have not the slightest socio-political influence without the consumption of material goods. Tourists go to a morbid Venice to consume not only the great ages of art, but also Italian food and wines and kitchen items from the Murano glassworks. Similarly, pilgrims go towards not just for the landscape, but to get miracles performed. There is a polyfunctionality covering these functions. The latter can only put one of the functions in danger at a time. Ninth, it is therefore impossible to make a separate attack on culture or discourse or knowledge. We can only return to the global. Let us verify what we suspected from the beginning. The total was and still is badly conceived. The tautological or tautologized identification between totality and system disrupts thought. If the system can only be accomplished at the end, this is because it is the object of action, the goal of the strategy. It is carried out rather than presented at the beginning and represented later on. It is carried out at the level of power and the state, not at the level of a speculative totality. What is to be understood by strategy? The current notion, balance of forces, is inadequate. It remains at the tactical level. As strategy does not reside in the C1 sections held by some genius or subject, the big chief, nor is it the application in detail of some pre-existing doctrinal system. Strategy springs from an interconnection of chances and necessities which are always particular ones, confrontations between diverse and unequal forces, split into two opposing camps, and if there are three camps, the situation becomes that much more complex. Many elements play their part. The goals, interests, wills, and representations of the various factions involved in the struggle, and the conceptions of the leaders. The theoretical unity resulting from these relations taken as a whole, the horizon made up of partial acts, the vision of the total, which is inaccessible as such to each of the participants taken separately, but which in their thoughts and consciousnesses is either possible or impossible. This is strategy in cause with the sense. The actions of the participating agents oscillate between, on the one hand, empiricism and opportunism in the immediate, and on the other hand, a so-called strategic conception, which never amounts to an exhaustive knowledge of the ensemble. This reveals itself in its totality only to theoretical analysis. What is to blame for the apparent perpetuity of relations of production? Is it the state as legislator, as the organizer of an apparently always perfectible contractual and institutional system, or is it the state in its repressive capacity, as control of the army, the POEC, the special services, the means of constraint which act merely by their presence? It is neither, separately, but it is both, as complementary factors supporting the established order. Even in state socialism, the repressive capacity is not sufficient. The state has its two hands, or rather its two fists. The political state is the level at which strategic thoughts are located. Consciously or unconsciously, well or badly, the protagonists apply these to their use of the economic, social, ideological, and political forces available to them. The global strategy appears only appears to as a chain of ventures and contests won or lost, a succession of events. Victories and defeats for one camp or the other, it therefore only appears after the spoils have been shared out. At this level, capitalism has so far played and won, in spite of the fact that it did not begin with crushing superiority over the proletarian socialist adversary, nor did it possess a theory or even a global conception worthy of being called a science. Yet it has always known how to optimize, that is how to deploy its forces effectively. Of course, the word optimize should be understood as an ironic euphemism. Wars, imperialist, colonial, guerrilla, etc. are part of this optimization. Are the theory and analysis of strategy situated at the articulation between science and politics? The way the question is formulated presupposes the persistence of knowledge and politics as structurally distinct and separable from each other. One seems as a result to be looking, not for mediation, but for a connection which would take the former place of philosophy or would perpetuate it by taking over its name. In this case, it would be the philosopher who would present politics and policies to science, to the experts. This is enough to make the thesis untenable. Politics consists of the search for power, the maintenance of power, and of the established order. But Marxist politics implies a critique of all politics and of every state. It seeks to put an end to them. To present an absolute politics to an absolute knowledge therefore destroys Marxist thought at its roots. Strategy is the summit of knowledge, the articulation between practice and theory. It cannot supplant philosophy nor prolong it. It has a different perspective. It implies a radical critique of knowledge and a critique of power, and finally, and above all, the unmasking of their relations and conflicts. How does the working class intervene strategically? It undoubtedly makes up the bulk of the troops in the anti-capitalist and anti-imperialist camp. But its attachments are unevenly deployed and extremely diverse in quantity and quality. Its attitude is conjunctural, not non-temporal predisposition for battle. It is not impossible here and there for it to become not only integrated, but an integrating nucleus, a generative nucleus of integration into capitalism, and therefore also the basis for the reproduction of relations of production. Even when it has represented political or union organizations, everything depends on moments and circumstances on the conjuncture. On the other hand, however, the working class resists capitalism and shows itself to be impenetrable, irreducible. And it is not alone, even when it is isolated. There are not only peasants around it, but other groups which are peripheral to urban and Hindus. So, trial centers where the ruling classes have their basis strategic thought. This world proletariat has a mission which Marx attributed to the working class as such, to negate the existing, to deconstruct or destructure it in order to reconstruct it, rather than transformed. Contrary to the Uber's way of thinking, the working class on a world scale does not claim to be exempt from all responsibility for perpetuating the social relations of exploitation and domination. However, it is not to blame either. Both their social layers and classes are not going to take over its unaccomplished historical mission. The working class is distinct from the world proletariat. The latter includes landless peasants, a proletarianized part of the petty bourgeoisie, a section of the liberal professions and intellectuals, and a sub-proletariat. The working class as such, working people whether manual wage earners or otherwise who are unemployed, does not leave the conjunctural in search of high structure. Without the working class, the anti-bourgeois front has no consistency and therefore no strategic existence. There is a conclusion to be drawn from this. While the working class as such has not played the role that Marx assigned to it in some of his writings, the role inevitable, universal negation and detachment. What has happened instead is not that the strategic front has been redrawn, but precisely the opposite, that it has been extended to the world scale. This analysis shows that the reproduction of relations of production cannot mobilize the enterprise at the point of labor and relations of labor. The breadth of the question under consideration now becomes clear. Where are these relations reproduced? Tenth, when competitive capitalism was installed along with the specific ruling class. The bourgeoisie in those countries which were in process of rapid industrialization during the 19th century, it consisted of a relatively limited number of large enterprises whose economic weight became decisive. These large units of production pulled behind them a much larger number of enterprises which were dependent on them economically, for orders or financially, for investment. Large scale industry in the main, 81, banks had already partly linked up, in spite of the internal rivalries between sections of the ruling class. Let's narrow this retrospective examination down to France. During the 19th century, the greater part of the country was still agricultural. Agricultural production involved artisanal production, together with small and medium scale mills. As an ensemble, it was pre-capitalist, while the domination of the bourgeoisie was based on a traditional, basically commercial capitalism. All regions eluded the grip of industrial and banking capitalism, some in fact were already on the road towards underdevelopment. Although the large towns were already being attacked by large scale industry and capital, they too in the 19th century were still historical towns. Only Paris began in a limited way to undergo the process of suburbanization and globalization to peripheries. But this retrospective picture of capitalism and industry directed by the big bourgeoisie on pre-capitalist foundations and a growth that was already unequal will remain incomplete if one pays attention to economic alone, without culture, learning, and the corresponding institutions, including the university and humanities. What about the academies? This fine cultural ensemble dates in France from the 17th and 18th centuries, and in some respects retains the best of the ascendant bourgeoisie and its bourgeois democratic revolution in the pre-capitalist and agricultural period. The same was true and still is, you might say, for the majority of the political institutions, in spite of all attempts at modernization. Detailed examination of the subsystems would reveal even today a strange jumble of differently dated pieces bearing different inscriptions, many of them worn away. Hence the grand dream of a technocratic utopia in which there will be a total recasting of all the subsystems and institutions constituting the whole of France. The locomotive engine of the industry has always pulled obsolete wagons behind it, and leisure, both as a concept and as a reality, was not invented until after the popular front. Until then, there simply been the good old days of artistic amusements, the traditional festivals, dances, etc. The bourgeoisie and some of the middle class had vacations. The everyday ways of dressing, eating, furnishing, and housing is dated just like all the other aspects of social life. Cuisine, furniture, and clothing originate directly from local national traditions, except among the big bourgeoisie with its modern styles, exoticism, and high fashion. Anachronisms in French society elsewhere cannot be accounted for by an economic or sociological theory of growth and backwardness, but only by the general theory of inequalities of development. Dislocations, distortions, and other dysfunctions are inherent in society where certain factors, technical, demographic, etc., are badly controlled and therefore exercise their own autonomized influence, and where the brutal forces of large industry rage. Their transforming effects giving rise to diverse and often contrary results. This may all appear somewhat ordinary, but it is necessary to reconstitute the process of transformation which capitalism has gone through, and this is no ordinary matter in fact. It is not enough simply to record the concentration of capital, the rise of finance capital, or the ebb and flow of imperialism, nor is it enough simply to say that large-scale capital has integrated or even overdetermined some of the content and formal elements of the social practice which preceded it. Large-scale capitalism has transformed them for its own benefit. It has destroyed as such, for example, those remnants of the agrarian era which lasted until the full industrial era, though not without preserving one of the essential conditions of the past era, as private ownership of land. Capitalism has not only subordinated exterior and interior sectors to itself, it has produced new sectors, transforming what pre-existed and completely overthrowing corresponding institutions and organizations. The same is true of art, knowledge, leisure, urban, and everyday reality. It is a vast process which, as usual, is wrapped in appearances and ideological masks. For example, capitalist production loses previous movers and styles, changes them into objects of cultural production and consumption, and thus recapitulates these styles in restituted and reconstituted form as neo-this, or that elite fashions and high-quality products. Reproduction of the relations of production, not just the means of production, is located not simply in society as a whole, but in space as a whole. Space, occupied by neo-capitalism section, reduced to homogeneity and fragmented, becomes the seat of power. The productive forces permit those who dispose of them to control space and even to produce it. This productive capacity extends to the whole of the earth space and beyond. Natural space is destroyed and transformed into a social product by ensemble techniques, particularly physics and information science. But this growth of productive forces continues to generate specific contradictions which it reproduces and aggregates. On the one hand, it destroys nature and transforms material space, but on the other hand, private property, private ownership of land, and therefore natural space, keeps productive power tied down to the framework of the past. Eras of agricultural production and rural nature. A prime illustration can be obtained from a brief critical analysis of leisure space in France, for example, on the Mediterranean coast, and not simply of some unit of leisure such as a club or a holiday village. Taken separately, analysis will show how this space actively reproduces the relations of production and therefore contributes to their maintenance and consolidation. In this perspective, leisure was the intermediary stage, the connection between the capitalist organization of production and its conquest of space as a whole. Leisure spaces are the object of a massive speculation that is not tightly controlled and is often assisted by the state, which builds highways and communications, and which directly or indirectly guarantees financial operations, etc. This space is sold at high prices to citizens who have been carried out of the town by boredom and the rat race. It is reduced to visual attributes, holidays, exile, retreat, and soon loses even these. It is rigidly hierarchies from the crowded public beaches up to elitist places such as Eden Rock. Thus, leisure enters into the division of social labor, not simply because leisure permits labor power to recuperate, but also because there is a leisure industry, a large-scale commercialization of specialized spaces, a division of social labor which is projected on the ground and enters into global planning. In this way, the country takes on a new profile, a new face, and new landscapes, having become political. Social space is on the one hand centralized and fixed in political centrality, and on the other hand specialized and parceled out. The state determines and congeals the decision-making centers. At the same time, space is distributed into peripheries which are hierarchized in relation to the centers. Is atomized. Colonization, which like industrial production and consumption was formerly localized, is made general. Around the centers there are nothing but subjective, exploited, independent spaces, neo-colonial spaces. This new globality, which consciously or otherwise finds its direction and its goal in the reproduction of the social relations even more than in immediate profit and growth of production, is accompanied by a profound qualitative alteration of these relations. The relations of domination originally underlay and reinforced the relations of exploitation, but now they become essential. Central. The will to power, the capacity for constraint and violence goes beyond the taste for profit and filthy lucre, beyond the search for super or maximum profit. Economic and social laws begin to lose what Marx describes as their physical, natural, and therefore blind and spontaneous characteristics, and become increasingly constricting beneath the contractual mask. At the theoretical level, this betrays, rather than simply uncovers, a global strategy. It constitutes a new totality, whose elements appear to be both joined in space by authority and by quantification, and disjoined in that same fragmented space and by that same authority, which uses its power in order to unite by separating and to separate by uniting. There is the everyday, which is reduced to program consumption and is cut off from the possibilities opened up by technology. There is the urban, which is reduced to fragments around state centrality. And finally, there are differences, which are reduced to homogeneity by constricting powers. These various determinations assert themselves against their own reduction. Against the logical and practical negation which restrains them, but does not succeed in destroying them. They assert themselves within the reduction. If space as a whole has become the place where reproduction of the relations of production is located, it has also become the terrain for a vast confrontation which creates a center now here, now there, and which therefore cannot be either localized or diffused. This confrontation will not go away, for it is none other than the shadow, filled with desire and expectation, that goes inseparably with the occupation of the world by economic growth. The market and the state, capitalist or socialist. Fortunately, there is one contradiction of space which prevents the generalized occupation and colonization from being consolidated. This is the contradiction between state capitalism and state socialism. It is a relative contradiction, conjunctural, sometimes weak and sometimes strong according to the moment. It is advisable not to overestimate it, nor should it be underestimated. It corresponds to different strategies. It prevents the stabilization of the ensemble. Without it, reproduction of the relations of production would become simply a routine, and would be a problem no longer or even longer. The strategic paradox is the fact that confrontation accompanies the extension and consolidation of the relations like their shadow, putting them constantly in danger, not in the same way that ideology accompanies knowledge or error truth, but more subtly than that. The consolidation needs centers, it needs to fix them, to monumentalize them socially, and specialize them mentally. Confrontation, on the other hand, springs up abruptly here or there in a thousand forms, from oral protests to strikes, from the guerrilla to the vast and well-prepared operation. Creative negation creates a makeshift, momentary center, and then moves on elsewhere. The power to maintain the relations of dependence and exploitation does not keep to a defined front at the strategic level, but a frontier on the map where line trenches on the ground. Power is everywhere, it is omnipresent, assigned to being, it is everywhere in space, it is in everyday discourse and commonplace notions, as well as in POE signs and armored cars. It is in objects are as well as in missiles, it is in the diffuse preponderance of the visual, as well as in institutions such as school or parliament. It is in things as well as in signs, the signs of objects and object signs, everywhere and therefore nowhere. For where is its certainty? Power does not have a completely sure grip on any of its instruments. After all, there is nothing which says that the army, the police, the pigs, the tons of cows, etc. cannot strike revolt, want power in their turn, or betray the master. Power suffers, as in Shakespearean tragedy why, the more it consolidates, the more afraid it is. It occupies space, but space trembles beneath it. The POE zone of suspicion, which is the dramatic other phase of power, distills out into social space as a whole. The places where P hour makes itself accessible in visible police stations, barracks, administrative buildings, ooze with anxiety. P hour can perish in various ways, sometimes actually from anxiety, but always in a state of anxiety. BUT power has extended its domain right into the interior of each individual, to the root of consciousness, to the topias hidden in the folds of subjectivity. God commands the me, the ego gives orders to the ID. It has to. How could the ego constitute itself as a person, other than by controlling instincts and putting its age jobs in order? BUT, this necessity brings with it the relations of power, and passes them on into language. The current structure of the person reproduces the social relations its own way, and introduces them into the immediate relations of family, marriage, and sex, parent-child, and superior-inferior relations. An attentive examination can only divulge these attitudes, not remove them. Psychoanalysis, for example, has had the merit of being able to detect the intrusions made by the moral order into conscious and unconscious so-called internal life. It has also kept these intrusions alive and breathing. The question of the regions and regionalization in France provides equally a good illustration of the strategy of space as a question of leisure and on a nationwide scale. It is a question which is also being imposed on a worldwide scale. Anywhere the centralized state has sought to get a grip on every single problem. In France, the question is posed as a historical data resulting from the struggle between Jacobins and Girondins. Governmental institutions have to be decentralized and decongested. This kind of reform, which is important and revolutionary to the extent that it calls the state into question, is presented as a series of polite actions for the benefit of the particular region's leading citizens. Government projects have always, in fact, having one aim, to offload some of their responsibilities onto local and regional organisms while preserving the mechanisms of power intact. The left, of course, has rejected this key political perspective in its entirety because it is Jacobin. The inevitable decentralization, miscarried or avoided, staggers on, while France slips into yet another phase of stagnation under the heading of the new society. Space is increasingly seen overtly to be the milieu for an increasingly conscious and treacherous strategy, which is hierarchizing space around Paris into more or less favored zones set in either great industrial or urban future, or for controlled, closely supervised decline. An even more significant illustration of this can be obtained from architecture, a specific, partial, and specialized practice which has close links with the everyday. The architect receives what might be termed the social commission, forcing him to realize spaces which suit society. That is which reflect the relations by concealing them under the decor, always assuming that runs through the decor. Architecture oscillates between monumental splendor and cynicism of the habitat. The monumental consists of borrowings from bygone styles and displays of technicality. It attempts to conceal the meaning but only succeeds in proclaiming it. These are the places of official power, the places where power is concentrated, where it reflects itself, looks down from above, and is transparent. The value unites with political. Verticality symbolizes power. Constructed space, a transparency of metal and glass, tells aloud the will to power and all its trickery. It is hardly necessary to add that the habitat too shares in the spatial distribution of domination. When architectural urban space responds to the social calm. Mission of developers and the authorities is contributing actively and openly to the reproduction of social relations. It is programmed space. What is strange is that the architect cannot free himself from this, even when he thinks that he is creating. Strange because in fact he has the means to create, to freely produce space for a particular requirement of the social mission. There is a profound simple reason for this blockage, the impotence of his imagination. For centuries, it was the architect's job to protect space against nature by abstracting it, isolating it behind walls and filling emptiness with religious and political symbols, with devices corresponding to the established order. Today, his job should be to produce space by protecting against power and to adapt it to relations freed from constraints. However, these constraints and pressures are exercised in space as a whole. They mold it, fill it, and produce their own specific kind of space, which is both homogeneous and fragmented, visual and pulverulent. The architect cannot free himself from them, either in practice, his projects and designs, or in his imagination. The social relations remain entangled in constraints, except in case of revolt, confrontation, or revolution. Social space remains the social space of power. But it is the everyday that carries the greatest weight. While power occupies the space which it generates, the everyday is the very soil on which the great architectures of politics and society rise up. It is still, however, ambiguous, a mixture of poverty and wealth. In the everyday, the unbearable is mixed up with pleasure and unease with satisfaction. The concrete becomes abstract and abstraction concrete. Happiness easily becomes intolerable. The reproduction of the relations of production enlarges, we said. By reproducing the fundamental contradictions, the contradiction between happiness and be or freedom has turned into a running sore. The great positive minds will no doubt regard it as utterly utopian and unrealistic to introduce boredom into a theoretical and political discussion. For them, boredom doesn't count. Really, it doesn't. Let's not insist, however, on this curious contrast between realized beauty and promised happiness. Let us dwell instead on the contradictions of space. The most extraordinary of these contradictions is gradually being disentangled. This is that the body, a wholly separate member of the space, opposes it. It will not allow itself to be dismembered without a protest, nor to be divided into fragments deprived of its rhythms, reduced to its catalog needs, to images and specializations. The body, at the very heart space of the discourse of power, is irreducible and subversive. It rejects the reproduction relations which deprive it and crush it. What is more vulnerable and more easy to torture than the reality of the body, and yet what is more resistant? Spinoza says that we do not know what the body is capable of. The foundation of needs and desire, of representations and concepts, the philosophical subject and object, and what is more and better, the basis of all practice and all reproduction. This human body resists the reproduction of oppressive relations, if not frontally, then obliquely. It is of course vulnerable, but it cannot be destroyed without destroying the social body itself. The carnal, earthly body there, every day. It is the body which is the point of return, the redress, not the logos, nor the human. We shall establish the link between the everyday and the body by showing how their vulnerability confers on both of them the privilege of being not only the witness of the prosecution, but also the terrain of defense and attack. It is to this that any essential critique of specialized knowledge will return, whether of classical political economy, sociology, history, or traditional philosophy, the speciality of the non-specialist. This does not mean that learning will return to being a confused globality. It cannot refrain from distinguishing and separating. Yet the kind of separation that is decidedly pursued and legitimized by the epistemologists only creates blockages. There is obsolete knowledge, just as there are obsolete societies. The dictatorship of the pure and therefore fetishized knowledge, together with the dictatorship of the I and the phallus, and the dictatorship of the key hour embodied in any specific spatiality. This dictatorship of the true turns into fragments and collapses, laying bare the soil on which an appropriate mental and social architecture can be built. If it is true that reproduction of the relations of production is the result of strategy and not of a pre-existing system, and that it is an attempt to constitute the system rather than to ratify it, then it follows that the real cannot be enclosed. It is not a situation where there is no possible outcome, nor is the only outcome global collapse, for the contradictions themselves develop, though unevenly. And finally, theoretical concepts may escape the system, even though they are born in it and have emerged from it. The concepts of space, of the everyday, of the urban, and of difference are not a part of the system, which is a system of space dominated by the strategy of homogenization and of the program every day. But they still have to free themselves from that system. This analysis enables knowledge too, to escape the dilemma of either absolute knowledge, fixed in nuclei, its brutal and negation, identification of pseudo-knowledge, with ideology. Critical knowledge and the critique of knowledge, which situate and relativize it instead of making it into a norm and criterion, come to the rescue of cognition. Let us distinguish the following points in order to summarize what has been said with maximum clarity. 1. This slow rediscovery of problematic has had objective and subjective conditions. The new elements only appear once the veils, appearance, representations, ideologies, etc. have been removed. 2. There can be no reproduction of social relations, either civil inertia or by tacit renewal. Reproduction does not occur without undergoing changes. This excludes both the idea of an automatic reproductive process internal to the constituted mode of production as system, and the OF, the immediate capacity of the generative nucleus. The contradictions themselves reproduce, and not without changes. Former relations may degenerate or dissolve, for example, the town, the natural nature, the nation, everyday poverty, the family, culture, the commodity, the world of signs. Others are constituted in such a way that there is production of social relations within reproduction. For example, the urban possibilities of the everyday, the differential. These new relations emerge from within those which are dissolving. They first appear as a negation of the latter, as the destroyers of the antecedents and conditions which hold them back. These is the specific behavior of the enlarged contradictions, enlarged and extended, that is to space, the world, and the worldwide. 3. The transition has not followed the political revolution as it did in Marx's outline. It precedes it. This situation demands a global, concrete project for a new and qualitatively different society. The project goes well beyond kind of demands which relate to work, use of production, or to simple improvement of the quality of the lived. It cannot be elaborated unless we call upon all resources of learning and the imagination. It is in its essence revisal. Its chances of failure are many, for it has at its tactical disposal no social efficacy and no political force. The new values are not imposed, they are proposed. 3. Is the working class revolutionary? Is the working class revolutionary? This is a deliberately provoked way of posing the problem. Some might say that the whole of revisionism is already contained in the question itself. It is true that the question could have been put more delicately. Could ask, to what extent is the working class still revolutionary? In what conjuncture can maintain the revolutionary capacity which undoubtedly had in the 19th century and the first half of the 20th? And so on. Putting the question this way reveals secondary questions. For example, in what way was the Chinese Cultural Revolution connected with the working class? Was it a proletarian revolution? Or why has the working class not engaged in more anti-capitalist or anti-imperialist activity? But it is necessary, I believe, to formulate the question in the fundamental way without being afraid to seem provocative. There is a myth, a kind of fetishism in which certain terms continue to be identified. Working class equals revolution, working class equals proletariat. At its most extreme, it asks the working class to be the support of permanent and continuous revolution, to make revolution every morning. The question implies a need for a more accurate definition of revolution and working class. What is understood by revolution? There are two distinct versions of the revolutionary project, one which I shall call minimal and one which I shall call maximal. These do not correspond to the old distinction between minimum program and maximum program. The minimal version consists of introducing coherence into social relations, in attenuating or getting rid of certain contradictions in order for society to function better. The maximal version, which Marx presented in some of his writings, particularly the early ones, presents it as a disappearance, simultaneous or otherwise, of the nation, the state, the family, all institutions, and even of labor in what Marx called human personality, that is a limited conception of individual being. The maximal version therefore states that in order to create the total, it is necessary to explode everything. In the minimal version, one contents oneself with a certain coherence, a certain cohesion in social relations. I believe that an understanding of the concept of revolution depends on recognizing these two versions of revolution and distinguishing them from the vulgar accepted definitions, change of government, coup d'etat, etc. We have already brought the concept of the working class into discussion, saying that it is necessary to make a distinction between its various sections and layers, and that the often repeated identification of the working class with the proletariat needs to be more closely examined. Marx pointed departure is the identity between the working class and negativity, negativity conceived in alien terms, and the identity between this negativity and the positive capacity to construct a total new social ensemble. This dialectical identity between the negative and the positive is the point of departure in the writings of the young Marx, with the emphasis on the negative. Radical critique and destruction pushed almost to the limit. The working class is universal insofar as it bears the identity of the negative, that is the radical capacity to destroy the existing, and the identity of the positive, that is the capacity to build an entirely new world. The difficulty starts to spring up very early on in this conception, because Marx soon found himself faced with the well-known problem of transition. In order to conceive of this transition, Marx tried to construct the concept of the working class as historical subject. Both the concept and the subject inserted in practice were capable of taking charge of all the circumstances of the transition. Therefore, there was to be radical discontinuity at the beginning, a leap from necessity into freedom, and subsequently the elaboration of the concept of transition, which has in fact turned out to take longer and longer, to be more and more difficult to even think about. Marx discovered a political condition for this, that is the alliance between the working class and other social layers or classes. He discovered too that the conditions of social transformation are national, and this tends to reintegrate the nation into the revolutionary vision. Finally, he discovered that it is necessary to work out a program, and that while the working class is the heir to philosophy, it is not necessarily the heir to knowledge as a whole. While Marx discovered the difficulties of the transitional period at the theoretical level, the workers' movement discovered its contradictions in practice. It signified contradiction in the workers' movement itself that anti-state socialism, the Paris Commune, should appear at almost exactly the same moment as state socialism in Germany, with LaSalle and the Social Democratic Party. At the level which we call the juncture between the theoretical and the practical. On the other hand, Marx discovered that the working class needs lessons, that learning is not immanent to it. For example, the working class as a class is ignorant of the global functioning of society, and its critique of the Gotha program points out. When a political party which seeks to represent the class before a program, this program ignores a very important part of the global functioning of every society. The German working class, which at that time was the most developed and had been informed and educated by a party presenting a political program, nevertheless did not understand what the global functioning of society was. It was NOT only production and labor, but health, teaching, school, and university, and the whole of social organization. The society does not coincide with the class, and the class as a class does not know the global functioning of society and the way of managing a society. That is to say, it has a poor knowledge of the management of the social circles product which goes beyond itself. It must therefore be taught this. This is where Lenin's thought intervenes. The working class is exploited, carrying the burden of the accumulation of capital, the bourgeois class, to the extent that it exists as a class, and the bourgeois order itself. It is therefore the basis of revolutionary action. But as a class, it has certain limits. It cannot as a class rise to a conception of social totality. Spontaneity is indispensable. It has its peaks and troughs, it has its limits too. The receptivity of the working class exists, but this also has its limits. Economic demands tend to recede in favor of political deed. Demands directed towards management and global functioning of society. Leninism, reacting against the tendency of the trade unions in particular to be narrowly economic, appears as anti. Who phrased me? At the same time, it demonstrates the conjunctural nature of the political revolution. This conjunctural nature is important inasmuch as certain revolutionary objectives can be achieved from above, badly of course. But then not all the transformational objectives of society can be democratically achieved from the bottom up. Political thought is necessary if the working class is to become capable of envisaging objectives which concern society as a whole. A global analysis and a strategy are necessary. There must be a concept of the totality. The class is not the totality of society. Therefore, the revolution can only take place conjuncturally, that is in certain class relations, and ensemble relations into which the peasantry and the intellectuals enter. The working class is not revolutionary in itself, by itself, for itself. There is no revolutionary essence of the working class. Let us leave aside the various attempts to solve these difficulties, notably that of Lukács, and proceed to analysis of the contemporary world. It could be said that in the modern world there is a permanent tendency towards Fourierism. Directly or indirectly, this tendency has contaminated the political parties. I am not sure whether the degeneration of the so-called communist parties can be attributed only to Stalinism or to what has happened in the Soviet Union. It seems to me that there are also internal reasons for it. The degeneracy as a whole is Lassallean and not Marxist. There is not one but several Marxisms, and the Lassallean variety as such is quite distinct for a century and today still. Political life in the developed countries has been marked by the theoretical and practical theories of Lassallism over the other Marxist currents. The Marxism of Marx is so far been the great victim of political thought. The tendencies towards revolutionary discourse and heavy speech making can already be found in Lassallism. For example, the iron law of development to socialism seems so much stronger than the Marxist analysis of surplus value. The apparently rigorous and vigorous discourse conceal opportunistic negotiations with Bismarck implicitly with attempts to transform society from above. But a more serious element in this generation has been the emphasis on production. The assumption is that the working class has production in its hands, and that it can therefore either increase it or interrupt it. This conjures up the possibility of revolutionary transformation either by interruption of production, the general strike, or by the halting of production, total economic crisis. This, in my opinion, is part of the ideology of production, which is linked with Fourierism. It is giving rise to all sorts of problems and dissociations. The general strike today is an impossibility, but some people keep waiting for it. The economic crisis is looked forward to tomorrow or the day after. Meanwhile, the political party has a conjuncture in its hands and governs the class by substituting itself for it. Production is still analyzed, but more and more the fundamental analysis is omitted, especially analysis of the production and reproduction of social relations, which is something other than production but is linked to it. The relations of production characteristic of capitalist society require that they themselves be reproduced. A society is the production and reproduction of social relations, not simply a production of things. In the name of various man, the working class, this analysis has been dropped. And furthermore, the social relations are not produced and reproduced only in the social location where the working class acts, thinks, and is localized as in the enterprise. They are reproduced in the market in a nice, widest sense in everyday life in the family and in the town. They're also reproduced where the global surplus value of society is realized, distributed, and consumed in the global functioning of society, art, culture, science, and many other places, including the army. They are reproduced or they fall into disrepair. And from this, certain important consequences arise which are not due solely to the level of productive forces or to external objective factors. Under conditions in which the reproduction of the social relations is misrecognized or where it is not even posed as a problem, the former social relations are reproduced. This seems to be the case in the socialist countries. New relations are produced blindly and unconsciously. The reproduction of former relations becomes increasingly poor. In the capitalist countries, these former relations fall into disrepair instead of changing in a revolutionary way. And finally, the contributions themselves are reproduced on a large scale. The working class resists this process on a worldwide scale, but lacks the theoretical elements which might eventually enable it to orient its reproduction of social relations and contradictions in a certain direction. Economic growth continues on a world scale in the capitalist and socialist countries, but its implications are poorly analyzed. Growth does not prevent the dissolution of existing society. These are two different things. It is not simply a question of unequal development, but the slow rotting away of the social relations which are impoverished and blinded. Learning, culture, the town, the roles which all these elements play are poorly perceived, poorly controlled, and under present conditions they are areas of visibility on rather than transformation. This is visible in any analysis of the urban phenomenon and its internal contradictions. For the urban today, I as a location both of the reproduction of the former social relations and decomposition, and of the formation of new relations and their contradictions. This process of dissolution prevents what Marx refers to as the one-dimensional. This decomposition produces immense proletarianization alongside the working class itself, together with new conflict elements. If one defines the proletariat by its lack of practical links with the means of production, then proletarianization affects everyone, the middle classes, white-collar workers, landless peasants who, in Latin America for example, are not integrated into production, and the urban peripheries in general. This vast proletarianization of the world contrasts with the working class bloc which stays solid. It includes youth and intellectuals whom learning fails to link with the means of production. It includes blacks and immigrant workers. It is an enormous process, corresponding with the utmost precedent to the initial Marxist notion of class separated from the means of production, charged with negativity, and capable under certain conditions of struggle to the death to change everything. But then there's the working class, which escapes the dissolution of these relations, certainly continues to want to put end to capitalist exploitation, but at the same time it constitutes in the present world a positive mass, a bloc which is almost homogeneous in spite of its various strata. To talk of bourgeoisism misses the point. The working class is not bourgeoisified by consumption. It resists, but remains within the general dissolution of a relatively coherent bloc. And while it does not accept bourgeois society, it accepts the minimal version of revolution rather than the maximal one. When one proposes to get rid of the family, and this after all is a part of the revolutionary project, the working class does not go along with the proposal. The class struggle is a struggle to death as disappearing in industrialized countries, at least momentarily, conjuncturally. There is thus a relatively homogeneous bloc which resists exploitation, but has conservative tendencies that exclude the maximal version of revolution, the radical transformation of society. It seems to me that the crux of this phenomenon must be sought in the ideology of the enterprise as a social location of production. The enterprise becomes a social location of the reproduction of the relations of production, which are decomposing and dissolving. The location of the reproduction of the relations of production is also the practical center of the relations between everyday life, labor, and leisure organized around the enterprise. It is the seat of economic rationality, which despite the various differences and divergencies is relatively common to both bourgeoisie and working class, and its birthplace is in the enterprise. Economic rationality tends to extend the technical division of labor within the enterprise, that is the type of rationality internal to the enterprise, to the whole society. It is necessary to re-emphasize here that Lefebvre has distorted Marxist thought concerning the division of labor. Marx said that in bourgeois society which is based large-scale industry, the social division of labor is regulated on the market and by the market, by the competition among producers of commodities and among capitals. The idea of extending technical rationality to society as a whole is, so to speak, utilized by all thoughts using Marxism. It is the bourgeoisie's idea, and it is also the idea and project of a large part, if not the whole of the present socialist movement, which is linked to capitalism. The enterprise is made into a privileged location spontaneously by the working class and in reflection by the bourgeoisie. I wonder whether the enterprise, as the center of economism and the ideology of labor and the worker, as the center and model of strategy, as a point of departure for projects extending the internal modalities of the enterprise to society as a whole, does not also extend the ideology of the party, since the party is managed like a big enterprise in an administrative fashion. I believe that it is this center which must be attacked and con. Secretly, the Marxist thought must be decentralized. This is one of the primary theoretical tasks. There is a theoretical revolution to be carried out, and the radical critique of the ideology of the party is a part of it. It must fight against Fourierism, against fetishism of the working class, and against a lot of other kinds of fetishism. The problem posed by Marx a century ago has still not been resolved, either at the theoretical or the practical level. There are contradictions which are internal to the working class. I believe that the extent of the working class allows itself to be held within the ideology of the enterprise. It tends to rebuild the relations of production and to reproduce them, whereas otherwise it confronts and seeks to replace them. Its revolutionary role is therefore conjunctural, not structural. There is a certain ambiguity in the working class. In the precise meaning of the term, this does not mean either that it has abandoned the revolutionary project or that it is bourgeoisified by consumption, but as a result of its current situation as a class, its possibilities are limited. This is an analysis which, it seems to me, is valid only on a worldwide scale. On the one hand, the social relations are withering away, and on the other hand, they are being transformed with new contradictions. One aspect of this process is the distinction between the working class and the proletariat, between the class which works in production and the proletariat on a worldwide scale, which we are only now beginning to get a few ideas about. This is a theme which needs to be developed more explicitly. As for the two first eons of revolution, maximal and minimal, it is no longer a matter of distinguishing between reform and revolution. The old reform program was supposed to be realizable within the framework of present society, social security, for example, while the maximum program was supposed to break through the framework of existing society. This distinction has deteriorated rapidly to the point where it has become a distinction between immediate economic and quantitative demands and political. Qualitative demands and the resulting confusion has meant effectively that the workers' movement has been reduced to immediate demands. In my own analysis, the so-called minimal version is already a revolutionary version, which involves the liberation of labor and transformation of the relations of production. The maximal version is to change life completely, including family relations and labor itself. The maximal version cannot be distinguished from the minimal version if there were not people prepared to carry out and to fight to the death to change everything. People who are capable of recapturing total reproduction. They exist, they can be called leftists. The distinction must be made in order to give a meaning and direction to their very existence. What is the problematic relationship between the two versions? Should it be taken on by two different groups? Is it a difference between left and right? Is it a question of degree? Is the minimal version the path towards the maximal version? For example, can the relations of production be changed without the family and everyday life being changed? It is necessary to distinguish between the relations of production and the production of the relations, and to realize that the latter is on the agenda as well as the former. New social relations are demanded, which give rise to what I call the maximal version. I realize that my terminology lacks precision, but if you ever heard Maurice Thorez talk about the positions of the working class and heard him separate these from strategy and from political thought itself, which according to Lenin has to orient and inspire the working class, if you ever heard people talking about the difference between bourgeois science and proletarian science, then you would experience Fourierism with the utmost concrete precision. Of course, we need to define communism or productivism. It is the ideology of growth, of indefinite growth. It is the idea that the problems of growth and quantitativism which they involve are the essential problems, and that the strategic objective is indefinite growth. It is also the case according to Lenin that there is such a thing as revolutionary spontaneity, and accordingly the spontaneity of the working class does not stop short of the political level. But remember Lenin's formula: spontaneity collapses spontaneously. The working class spontaneously reaches a high level of consciousness which includes political consciousness. But the collapse too can be extremely rapid if there is no political thought. Lenin's view is that the working class need political thought and appropriate initiative. J must be an objective, a strategy. Nothing can replace political thought or cultivate spontaneity. As for the expression, the conjunctural, non-structural, revolutionary capacity of the working class. Let's remember that for Lenin the working class only plays its revolutionary role when there is a particular balance of forces and where there is an initiative, a political thought orienting it. It seems to me that this is what is left to us of Leninism, and the idea of the project. The revolutionary project cannot be assimilated into the old programs. The project for society as a whole has to be worked out, and I believe that this is the meaning of the still poorly understood critique of the Gotha program. The programs and the way in which they are conceived are insufficient. What is needed is a project of a global society, implying the production of entirely new social relations. 4%. Ideologies of growth. The problem under discussion here is that of economic growth and ideologies which are so far associated with it. Our theme therefore is not growth, but the relation between growth and ideologies. I use the term growth rather than the Marxist term enlarged accumulation, which is the only scientific term, precisely in order to show that growth implies an ideology. I have not adopted it uncritically in a pure and simple fashion. A few years ago, the advanced capitalist countries, or rather their leaders, used to present an idyllic picture of the economic situation, ignoring the clouds on the horizon, which would quickly go away, they said. Growth could and should be indefinite. It was thought of in this way almost exclusively. The economists thought that there were no serious mistakes on the part of politicians. The process of growth could extend an exponential curve. We know what that means. Economic growth was confused with mathematical growth. It was considered to be always quantifiable, as if it could be enumerated in tons of steel or cement, in barrels of oil, or units of cars or ships, etc. The quantitative aspect of growth appeared to be positive, the strongest sense of the word. As a result, growth was considered to be a desirable thing. It was thought of as means and end, and certain by no means negligible aspects, like capitalist profits, were consigned to silence. Real growth expressed itself in terms of well-defined rates, among which played the biggest role, being literally fetishist. According to economics, which was declared to be the most modern science of all, indefinite growth was possible. The economists worked out models, and the best models were naturally those which proposed and verified indefinite growth. There were never again going to be any crises. At the most, there would be decelerations or recessions. The Marxist theory of crises was thrown into the dustbin of history. The only difficulties in growth were those which arose at the 102, beginning in the period known to Marxists as primitive accumulation. This was what was behind the famous takeoff theory worked out by Rousseau, the American economist and reactionary advisor to the White House. At most, there would be a few bottlenecks here and there. The future was open wide. It was up to technicians and technocrats to take decisions which would control the future. Technology and growth appeared to complement each other. Computers were guaranteed and carried through this virtually harmonious process. No one was scared by the giantism of enterprises, projects, or strategies. On the contrary, giantism was seductive. It appeared to be one of the criteria of the future. The first symptoms, the warning lights, as the economists say, have been apparent for some time now. Galbraith today stands out as a precursor because 15 years ago he was saying that in the public services, post, railway, schools, hospitals, urban transport, etc., did not go hand in hand with growth, that they worked less well than private enterprise, that the general development of life lag behind the technical possibilities and accomplishments in the enterprises. That economic model constituted a system of beliefs rather than science, and finally that the existence of technostructure within the enterprises was not sufficient to organize social life in terms of growth, since technostructures were only concerned with the enterprises. On the basis of this paltry handful of critical comments, Galbraith is considered genius. There are other theoreticians too who are warning public opinion that the motor car as a driven object carries certain risks. The motor industry is one of the biggest in the ET does not involve the application of high-level technology and destroys urban space. There were also voices raised, speaking without authority of course, to say that economic growth and social development were not linked, that quantitative and qualitative do not necessarily go hand in hand. These critics were hardly listened to, they were deviants, but it is obvious when extraordinary change is taking place in a very short space of time. The picture is now more than black, it is tragic. Some people go so far as to propose a new millenarianism. There are more and more breakdowns. The breakdowns have a kind of cumulative effect as if the year 2000 were going to be not the end of the world, but the end of the world. When Stanley Kramer called this film 2001, he presumably wanted to question whether we would ever get past the year 2000. The optimism has been very quickly replaced by an apocalyptic ideology, to such an extent that cyclical theories of time have begun to appear. A catastrophic vision replaces the old ideology of historical time, in which the progress of rational history has an obvious direction and finality. The main argument of new millenarianism is derived from the nuclear danger. The likelihood of a third world war rose, except that this war may not be fatal. The separation between war and peace disappears. War is no longer declared, it is made. The confrontation between strategies aggravates the risks. This great European pessimism and nihilism has many different origins. One is the abandoning of the giantism on which growth used to base its dreams of time. The uselessness of great interplanetary ventures has become obvious, at least in the sense that you can't immediately, as from today, start setting up force agencies for the moon. The giant planetary firms, the multinationals, bear within them new dangers. IBM is in the process of creating a private information network which will enable it, and perhaps thus already, to negotiate on an equal footing with states. There is even discrete talk about information delta. It is certainly true that IBM is in the process of establishing a worldwide monopoly of information and information processing. What is actually happening is that industrial rationality in the optimistic sense of the term is being abandoned. For nearly a century and a half, it was possible to believe that industry bore within it principal organization. This was a time thought, and so did Marx in part, as I expressly in part today, this is recognizable as mere ideology. The organizational power which industry bears within itself is localized in the enterprise and does not extend to the rest of society, let alone the rest of the world. The result of this is that today we live in a terrible contradiction. On the one hand, the growth of productive forces makes possible something that is absolutely new in J1 of the world through the automation of production. But at the same time, reality, the present, becomes more and more terrifying. Violence spreads and becomes endemic. The bomb and the nuclear danger are therefore not the only things that matter at the ideological level. Something quite different from classical Malthusianism is involved. Let us enumerate the breakdowns. What is known as pollution or the problem of the environment is only an ideological mask. In particular, the term environment has no precise meaning. It is everything and nothing. It can mean nature whole, or it can mean the suburbs. Pollution and the crisis of the environment are simply the surface of deeper phenomena, one of which is the uncontrolled technology that has been unleashed. The danger warned of in the now famous MIT report was that resources would be exhausted as a result of uncontrolled technology and galloping population growth. Certain peculiar concepts have sprung up. For example, the concept of a soft technology, which does not brutalize nature, a kind of artisan technology. There's also been the concept of shrinkmanship, which is aimed at reducing the size of the enterprise and miniaturizing it and minimizing its risks. Giantism used to be the mark of a bold spirit enterprise. Now it is the opposite. In order for a project to be taken into consideration, it has to be small and precise. We should remember here that the eminent experts have adopted survival as their sole program. Le Monde recently said that the leftists may have been wrong and that the hippies were right. They have established the fact that productivity has nothing to do with the quality of life. In order to understand what is going on, we have to make another countdown of capitalism and examine the strange process which has led from the conquering mind to the apocalyptic mind. 19th century growth was a blind thrust. In the 19th century, each capitalist produced on his own account for his own profit. He was an entrepreneur with an enterprise. He offered what he produced on the market. The market functioned as a blind force. By means of competition, eliminated many of the entrepreneurs. A double division of labor was established. This is a notion about which there has been a lot of confusion, especially on Durkheim's part. We have to clearly reestablish the distinction made by Marx. The technical division of labor is that which rules productive operations within the enterprise, but the social division of labor is that which is imposed by the market. In the 19th century, capitalists would put his products on the market, either they sold or they didn't. The state did not yet play the role of regulator. Capitalism was first established in England, where the state was very weak. Growth took place there with virtually no state intervention. Today, the state has not only become responsible for growth, but is its senior official too, especially in the socialist countries. Whereas in 19th century England, it was the national and world market which played this role. The social division of labor is a result of market pressure on the enterprise. Only those enterprises which offload their products onto the market, which is difficult to predict except in the short term, survive. Under such conditions, the massive capital and capitalists goes blindly on. The mode of production functions and grows. At this point, industry imposes itself as a new fact, overthrowing and transforming the world in a revolutionary manner. With all the implications and consequences of that word, the end of the agrarian era with feudalism and patriarchy and the rise of the working class who, according to Marx, will at a later stage complete the transformation of the world by industry. During this period, industry introduces its own conception of reason. In particular, it overthrows the old philosophies, sciences, and knowledge, and new systems appear, St. Simon's, for example, and then the limitless perspective of Marxist thought. Industry therefore introduces a new praxis. If we now turn to the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th, if we try to describe the results of this blind thrust, we can roughly state the following. 1. The world of the commodity unfolds in direct association with the increase in industrial productivity and absorbs what existed before it. The world market is constituted. 2. This is followed by imperialism, which forcibly subjects everything that exists in the world to the demands of the market and capitalist production, raw materials, capital investment, etc. 3. The result is an ensemble of contradictions, including cyclical crises, which in Marx's theory keep returning, and which produce war conjunctures in particular. We should not forget that the First World War corresponded to a cyclical crisis, and that the rise of fascism and then the Second World War also corresponded to a great cyclical crisis. Wars and cyclical crises have the same result. They liquidate excess, things and men. The blind thrust of capitalism is accompanied by a curious mixture of ideologies, which always seem to be pluralist or multifunctional. These ideologies hide reality. That is the brutal character of economic growth and capitalist expansion. At the same time, they clear up certain particularly troublesome spots, and they even seem to illuminate the future. They obscure contradictions and apparently make them vanish, while they also mask their own contradictions and ideologies to a large extent. Finally, they pave the way for expansion, though without having any inherent relation to growth profit. At the same time, rationalism and nationalism are opposed in the bigger European countries. Rationalism attempts to be universalist and humanist, claiming to be based on science. Morality and law, nationalism is a contrary assertion, that of particularities in customs, values, and interests. It is quite easy with the century's hindsight to point out the various contradictions between rationalism and nationalism, but at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, there was no shortage of people who called themselves rationalists and nationalists in the same breath. Even the university, especially in France, both at the same time, no one saw the contradiction between rational universalism and national particularism, which was later going to become so blatant. Similarly, industrialism involved scientism and often very crude determinism and positivism, which did not go well with the simultaneous cult of liberty. If we can see these contradictions today, we can also see the relation of these ideologies to capitalist expansion, that is to growth. In the 19th century and the first part of the 20th, there is an ongoing separation, which ideology both maintains and obscures between the individual and the social, and especially between the individual capitalist or entrepreneur, who as an individual might have a lot of qualities, and global capitalism in its implacable advance. There is also separation, similarly maintained and obscured by ideology, between values and interests, between values promulgated at the level of the ideal and interests calculated simply in terms of money, and again, between the private and the public, between the necessities of private life and the global result of the level of the state. Today we can look at this past and see through the ideological clouds which cover reality. But for the people of this period, they were not ideology but knowledge, reasons, and motivations, which were extremely powerful in and for their consciousness. For them, it was a question of the great ideal, the historic mission, law, and civilization. But there is another aspect of growth. The theory of growth is not a part of these ideologies. It lies elsewhere in Marxist thought, in the precursors to some equivocal term of that thought, for example, St. Simon and Fourier and its consequences. The theory of growth can be found in Marx, separated from the ideologies which conceal it, but 1. It is incomplete. Marx studied enlarged accumulation only in England. He could only understand it by taking into account the world market, from which England benefited because it had played a large part in constituting it. Marx was almost totally unaware of the activity of the state in enlarged accumulation. Moreover, simple reproduction of the means of production and enlarged reproduction are not distinguished very well by Marx, as Rosa Luxemburg demonstrated in 1913 in the accumulation of capital. 2. It is a critical theory in Marxist thought. All knowledge is critical knowledge. What happened therefore was that this theory of growth was not recognized, at least at the beginning, nor for a long time afterwards, by those whose activity it revealed. On the contrary, it was rejected, refuted, and persecuted for this very reason. To continue this overview of the formation of the contemporary era, see on and clarifying the process in accordance with our chosen axis, which is growth and the theory of growth. Let's turn to the 20th century. The large capitalist countries in Europe flung themselves against each other and smashed themselves to pieces. Whole areas were separated from capitalism. But first, the revolution did not take place in the developed industrial countries as Marx thought it would. A momentary and relative failure, but nevertheless a serious one. Secondly, the world market remained powerful and remained a single market. This was Stalin's great failure. If we draw the balance sheet on Stalinism, then we can certainly put all the oppression on the debit side too. But most important of all was its incapacity in spite of all its efforts and abuses of key power to constitute a world market other than the capitalist one. The world market exerts tremendous pressure. One can of course be a voluntarist and say that it can be counteracted, but nothing can be less certain. Thirdly, the bourgeoisie's experience its own difficulties has won it a high degree of political consciousness and ability to maneuver. It has been flexible enough to try and absorb Marxist thought itself. Even after that period of destruction, it is still incapable of offensive strategies, fascism, then neo-capitalism, and neo-imperialism. Growth, internal growth above all, plays an increasing and unprecedented part in the strategy. In a country like Japan, this strategy is wholly deliberate and explains the exceptional rates of growth there. Of course, none of the bourgeoisie in power ever developed in underdeveloped countries for sources of manpower and raw materials, trade outlets, or territories for investment. The growth based on the internal market plays a determining role under such conditions, unlike former ones. Growth itself can be known and recognized. It knows and recognizes itself as end and means simultaneously. End and means are confused, and the means becomes the goal. The end. From this point onwards, growth carries within itself its own ideology. Growth seems to develop a logic. The strategy of growth is confused with the ideology of growth. Growth is claimed to be necessary and determined. It is forecast mathematically. Multiple models of growth are constructed. It is important to stress here that growth, known and recognized in this way, is searching for a coherence. Hence the importance of the notion itself in the advent, at a certain point, of what can only be described as the fetishization of coherence. This hot coherence is designed to eliminate all the contradictions from social practice. The really curious thing is that science, and particularly political economy, becomes ideological. When acts in a wholly consistent manner, one goes right to the end in order to maintain growth. Then destruction becomes inherent in capitalism in every respect. This destruction does not only consist of declared violence, both civil and military kind. An obsolescence of objects is organized on all sides. That is to say, the lifespan of objects and industrial products is willfully curtailed. The theory of obsolescence gives rise to mathematical calcula. Sean Serres, the demography of objects, recording the life expectancy of this or that product. And the market is organized in terms of the life expectancy of objects. Each life expectancy is calculated for every object. 2 or 3 years for a car, a dozen for a bathroom. Science is assigned the character of death. It calculates the death of things and the death of men with the life insurance company accounts as a model. All capitalist data functions on the basis of death statistics. It is one of the essential elements of the system. The moral usury of machines is expressly sought. Machinery is replaced B before it is materially used up. There is an intense deterioration of fixed capital, which is attributed to technical progress. It is precisely one of the functions of technical progress to destroy fixed capital, quite apart from the role of war or nature itself in this destruction. The ideology of growth can and does mask this fact with great care. The negative element is no longer outside capitalism, but at its very heart. Over the same period, armaments have entered into production for growth. Peace ceases to be distinguishable from war. The torrent of production for the sake of production advances, whether insidiously or brutally. Again, the negative is no longer outside the process in the interruptions and crises. It is within it. Destruction becomes inherent and imminent in production. It is precisely this that obscures the negative and leads to the belief that crises no longer exist. Galbraith is claimed today for having made a few reservations about the positive and rational character of growth. But 10 or 15 years ago, concurrently with Galbraith, Vance Packard was going much further and demonstrating that the growth is based on wastage. This seems to have been ignored. UNESCO organized a conference on the limits of growth and who does MG's staying in light? Galbraith, but not Vance. P. Packard. The demography of objects is the scientific counterpart to advertising. It is the science of the organization of the market. Advertising acts on needs. It formulates them and makes them. correspond to the objects and vice versa. The demography of objects, the theory of calculation of their obsolescence and life expectancy from the precise moment of their manufacture, is a scientific aspect of capitalist production. It associates science with destruction. There are certain psychoanalysts who point to this as evidence of a death instinct or vague morbidity inherent in capitalism. Once adult entities like this introduced into the argument, you can say whatever you like, and critical analysis turns into verbiage. Whether this verbiage is a success or not is of course quite secondary. All this brings us to the period roughly between 1950 and 1970, which was an idyllic period for the whole of capitalism. A few shadows still hung over the picture from the bourgeoisie's point of view. Wars did not cease in Africa or Asia, but from its point of view, the inequalities and growth which provoked these conflicts could and had to be reabsorbed in the long term. The retarded or backward areas of the underdeveloped countries could and had to be integrated into growth. To use the classic metaphor, the ship of capitalism and its leaders found itself with a motor, a rudder, and a fixed course. More precisely, it now constituted for itself solid nuclei centers, what François Peru calls the growth poles. Everything was subordinated to growth. The implications of this have been remarkable. 1. During this period, the sciences become the tools of growth. In particular, the so-called social sciences become the instruments of political control of this growth. This is equally true of political economy, psychology, or sociology. In other words, there's once again confusion between scientificity and ideology, analogous to the confusion between logic and coherence in the strategy of independent growth. During this period, sociology becomes a direct and immediate means of control. This is proved whenever some sociologist explicitly supplies data as more or less processed statistical elements, which are then sold to the public or private users through the medium of databanks. 2. The sciences are directly integrated into production through technology and machinery invested so-called fixed capital, which are the property of capital and the state of the ruling classes. The sciences in general are under such conditions, both integrated and integrating. The concept itself, integration, makes its appearance. It follows that this massive use of knowledge implies and points to a non-knowledge. The very mechanism of use of knowledge must itself remain unknown, unacknowledged, non-known. 3. As a result, capitalist accumulation changes its character. It is no longer a simple matter of accumulating wealth or means of production, but accumulating techniques, information, knowledge in general, which in the developed countries is literally capitalized. The state guarantees this centralized organization and localizes it in decision-making centers. Neo-capitalism thus enters into a new kind of contract with the sciences and scientists. And sooner or later this has repercussions on the institutions concerned, scientific research, university, etc. This neo-capitalism could be said to be a capitalism organization. This is not the same thing as organized capitalism, far from it. Its cohesion is merely superficial. It fails to reabsorb its contradictions. The coherence is no more than ideological, that is, it intervenes in and is closely tied to reality, yet conceals it, masking its contradictions just like any other ideology. The negative continues to work deep down. This society managed to win itself the title of a technological society, and it has been given plenty of other names, but most and perhaps all of these descriptions capture no more than one of its tendencies or aspects, and they certainly do not comprise the whole. During this euphoric period, it seemed that the problem of integrating and co-opting everything that opposes society, ideologies, social groupings, classes, had been solved. Even the working class seemed to be integrated, and its opposition attenuated or reabsorbed, and apparent truth imposed itself, which has only now become paradoxical. The truth of unlimited growth, the indefinite extension of the centers, nuclei, and growth poles. This ruling scenario of the 1950 to 1970 period gave rise not only to so-called logic, but also to strategies which gradually covered space as a whole, and which need separate studies. It gave rise to the image of leadership of the most advanced country, the US, and to the brand image of the technocrats and the technostructure as the barriers and guarantors of growth. Thus, the sham representation of a new totality was constituted, of a society building itself on new foundations. It was a totality in which the working class had agreed to enter, and in which politicians had a determinate and limited role to protect growth. Throughout this period and perspective, there is an alignment between, on the one hand, the ideological logic of growth and coherence with strategic world-scale operational projects, and on the other hand, actual ideologies such as productivism, the justification of production for production's sake, economism, the thesis that the economic has absolute priority, and structuralism and functionalism, tools in the search for theoretical coherence and practical cohesion. Functionalism determines the functions of social groupings and institutions in relation to a supposed or rather hoped for harmony of growth. Structuralism represents an ideological version of the activity of the technocrats. Their concern is the use of knowledge to structure space in the perspective of unlimited growth, and they have a particularly powerful and effective means of action, the bureaucracy. Now, these grand projects have left their paradoxical sides exposed. They seek to break the chains which hold back the productive forces and clearly report the limitless horizon. But they want to do this at the same time as maintaining the existing social framework, or more precisely, the existing relations of production. And not only this, they want to do so while reproducing the essence of these relations of production, avoiding any harm to the bourgeoisie except for its backward layers in small and medium industry, and harming even them as little as possible, so that modification only affect the details of management. The breaking of the chains which tether the productive forces, the very project of Marxist thought, is thus reversed, inverted, and itself co-opted by the bourgeoisie. We cannot simply state that this is an unconscious part of the bourgeoisie's thinking. If we recall Keynes and others, we must be aware that this reverse application of the Marxist project has undoubtedly been highly conscious at the top. It is an odd situation and is yet to be analyzed properly. And over the same period, in another part of the world, Marxism has itself become an ideology, an opium of the people, a sick J. Oak. There are other problems even less analyzed which need explaining. What was the left doing during this period of capitalist euphoria? What were critical intellectuals doing? What was critical theory doing? In the first place, they were busy declaring, not without some astonishment, that he said that capitalism was flexible, that the bourgeoisie was capable of, sir. The EDMG is awkward moments to integrate what previously appeared to be irreducible, to make use of the sciences and techniques, and to create new techniques such as management science. Yet at the end of the Second World War, it was a widely accepted idea, even among certain sections of the bourgeoisie itself, that the bourgeoisie was exhausted, finished. It is not yet clear how and what point the reestablishment took place. Was it thought out and conceived? I would have thought so. The tactic, if not the strategy, sprung from some fairly intelligent but fairly well-concealed milieu. I think that the so-called left strongly contributed to the reestablishment of capitalism in this period. Left called characters who around 1950 were creating leisure spaces, holidays for the people where, through leisure, the people would emancipate themselves from capitalist oppression. At first, they were supposed to be modest little clubs. They succeeded so well that this so-called social enterprise has become an enormous capitalist one. How did this happen? I repeat, the history of the flexibility and reestablishment of capitalism is yet to be written. Another example is the National Account Service. This institution was invented by the progressives as a way of introducing some honesty into the taxation system. It soon became the organ for compulsory planning at the service of capitalist state power. A lot has been written about this period, but in a journalistic manner, with extreme superficiality. The underlying history of the bourgeoisie's capacity for reestablishing itself has not even been sketched. There is a lot to tell. It is not only taking place in France, it is a world phenomenon. The intellectuals have admitted or accepted the new situation and have simply searched for a name for it, from which we get the various denominations I have already referred to, the technological society, the consumer society, and the worst of all mystifications, the leisure society. Their critique has thus become moralizing and aesthetic. It has ceased to bear upon the essential, concentrating instead on ugliness, wickedness, poverty, etc. The most serious error was instead to rationalize and systematize these things, so they appear to be both motivated, according to some causal schema, and final. This is where I am against the thought and work of Herbert Marcuse. His standpoint is the theorization of the fait accompli, his theoretical presenta, 114. John proceeds from the role of knowledge in capitalist growth. He analyzes it correctly, but restricts himself to American capitalism. He takes it for granted that coherence has been achieved. He demonstrates an imminent rationality at work which is ravaging but effective, which has succeeded in making man one-dimensional and has enclosed the system. According to Marcuse, the integrating capacity of no fetch is capable of depriving both the bourgeoisie and the working class of any historical role and of any possibility of qualitative transformation. Face to face, they neutralize each other. Technological progress causes the collapse of all opposition between public life and private life, or between individual needs and social needs. The positive triumphs over the negative, the omnipresent system, stabilizing society as a whole, outclasses the capitalist mode of production, but at the same time completes it, with the exception of a few cracks through which a desperate protest hurts. Instead of demonstrating the faults of the hardest coherence, Marcus insists on his internal logic, which is derived from the application of knowledge to the social practice of capitalism. If under such conditions the capitalist centers are solid, powerful, logical, and destined to expand, where can the counter offensive come from? The only answer then is that either it will not take place at all, or that it will come only from the peripheries. The term periphery has several senses, the frontiers between which are often ill-defined. In this differential sense, there are several peripheral elements. First, there are the so-called underdeveloped countries, particularly the ex-colonial ones, but also in a wider sense the world proletariat, as distinct from the working class. That is, the proletariat which has been removed from the means of production in whole continents such as Latin America, and which is therefore neither integrated nor integratable, whereas the working class occupy the enterprises. And thus has a relation determined by the capitalist mode of production which makes them appear integratable and even integrated. The proletariat by this definition consists of the unclassical elements, peasants, for example, who have been dispossessed as a result of the decomposition of the agrarian structures. And foreign cities and constitute the developed on the edges of Latin American cities. Secondly, there are the regions which are distant from the centers within the capitalist countries themselves. In France there is Brittany, the Basque Country, and Occitania. In Great Britain there is Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. In Italy there is Sicily and the south. Thirdly, there are the urban peripheries, the inhabitants of the suburbs, immigrant workers and buying guilds, etc. Finally, there are the social and political peripheries, particularly youth and women, homosexuals, the desperate, the mad, the drug takers. Some leftists have established their point of attack here. On the whole, these groups, which are themselves peripheral, concentrate on the peripheries and peripheral questions. Enjoy yourselves. Don't work. We're all delinquents, all sexually obsessed, all schizophrenics. This tactic of concentrating on the peripheries is not wrong. In fact, the very existence of the peripheries is symptomatic of the importance of the centrality which operates. These kind of leftism directly or indirectly prepares, even puts into practice, a critique of key hour which is more radical than the critique that is addressed solely to the economic. The masks and snares of power are revealed in their full light, and the ideological clouds are dispersed. The issue of prisons, of psychiatric hospitals, and anti-psychiatry, of various converging repressions, has a considerable importance in the critique of power. And yet this tactic, which concentrates on the peripheries and only on the peripheries, simply ends up with a lot of pinprick operations which are separated from each other in time and space. It neglects the centers and centrality, it neglects the global. But the question of the centers and centrality is essential. So long as the centers and centrality remain stable or reconstitute themselves, the pinprick operations can be beaten off one by one. The essential in the centers is precisely their activity in producing the peripheries. The centers instigate and expel the peripheries, they maintain and discard them. The centers of decision making that is of power, authority, information, knowledge, put those who do not accept power at a distance from themselves. This does not, however, mean to say that the centers are above any crisis. This is what is so interesting about the current situation. If the decision making centers crack, if they are unable to avoid either saturation or dislocation, then something new APP appears, a global crisis. This does not mean simply that the destructive side of capitalism accentuates and takes over, destroying nature and at its most extreme the planet, nor is it simply a question of some obscure death instinct at work, nor is it simply a collapse of productivism and economism. It is not a classic economic crisis of overproduction, such as the one that raged in the early 30s, nor will its consequences be the same. What is appearing is a crisis in the reproduction of the relations of production, and especially the decay of the centers and centralities. This global crisis is already gradually affecting all levels of existing society, particularly the ideological and cultural levels as the superstructure, the social and political structures, without of course excluding the economic level. In all probability, much talk about integration of the working class will appear to have been conjunctural and not structural. This integration is already threatened, it will not last, and it will give way to the self-determination of this class. The symptoms of the crisis accumulate, touching the superstructure, all areas of culture, and even more importantly, institutions such as law, information, television, education, etc. Where the economic-based structures are concerned, the ensemble of urban phenomena are a symptom and more than a symptom of the crisis, simultaneously a cause and an effect. We know that the historical town is fragmented. This fragmentation has been made use of to constitute a space ruled by the imperatives of growth. Although one seeks to make this space rational, it is both chaotic and saturated. Having sprung from massive industrialization, it tends to put the very existence of large capitalist towns in danger. The latter become uncontrollable, ungovernable, and uninhabitable, though they still comprise the decision-making centers. It is here that we see the crisis of centrality emerging and growing. This particular weakness of society is not the only one, but it is the biggest. It is spreading and worsening constantly. The American perspectivists have realized for some time that the American city, as a reality, has turned the rationality of growth into a dream. The American capitalists have been faced with the agonizing dilemma of whether to sacrifice the town, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, etc., and constitute their decision-making centers elsewhere, a difficult thing to do, or whether to save the town by devoting enormous resources to it, even the sum total of resources the American society has at its disposal. It is impossible to say whether these problems can be solved by the bourgeoisie within the capitalist mode of production. There is neither an economic nor an ideological barrier to stop them or loosen and well-informed leaders from coming to grips with them. There is no invisible obstacle or political prohibition which says you may go no further. Yet there is no doubt that difficulties are mounting. They have to choose whether to sacrifice the town or save it, and neither choice is devoid of contradictions. Of course, capitalist firms, at first in the other large capitalist countries, are going to produce and sell anti-pollution and environmental devices. But this does not necessarily mean that the urban question will be solved. It is a growing and very strange phenomenon that every politically active person in every region should declare himself to be for growth. Their reasons vary according to the region or the ideology, but the reasons are always good. I'm not referring to those who are simply interested in politics, but those who are powerful men in the institutions. Obviously, one cannot put forward the same reasons for growth in the large industrial countries as in so-called underdeveloped countries which are or were dependent. The reasons put forward by politicians in independent countries are certainly better. The fact nevertheless remains that virtually all politicians declare themselves to be for growth in the particular country they control. And at the same time, they refuse to take the implications and consequences of this seriously. Paradoxical is too weak a term for this situation. Certain so-called leftist groups who willingly smash growth, risking a return to the archaic and to the dislocation of the social totality by concentrating on the peripheries alone. The communist and socialist movement, on the other hand, has always concentrated on the global and central. It is in its own way conservative and proposes to maintain growth, claiming to be the only force capable of doing so. On the whole, European socialists and communists simply propose to take over the baton from the bourgeoisie, though they differ on the modalities of achieving growth. They regard the critique of growth as simply a kind of generalized Malthusianism, demographic, technological, and economic. The bourgeoisie and capitalism oscillate between euphoria and nihilism. They have forebodings about the difficulties of indefinite growth as a result of having experimented with it. They promise to maintain growth, but lack confidence in the future. Their mood is very changeable. These, therefore, new ideologies which confront each other through the problematic of growth. The act of tearing aside the veil of ideologies reveals to us that indefinite growth is impossible, and that this thesis of indefinite pursuit of growth itself is an ideology. Although it is a verifiable fact that the centers are being threatened by global crisis, the practical and theoretical situation gives the lie to the peripheral attacks of the so-called leftist currents. Though they are correct to denounce the misdeeds of growth and the ideology of growth. It is not just a question, as the socialist and communist movement proposes, of taking over from the bourgeoisie in order to rediscover the same problems. Another way must be found. Here are some proposals. 1. A strategy which would join up the peripheral elements with elements from disturbed centers, that is with those elements from the working class who can free themselves from the ideology of growth. 2. An orientation of growth towards specifically social needs and no longer towards individual needs. This orientation would imply the progressive limitation of growth and would avoid either breaking with it crudely or prolonging it indefinitely. In addition, the social needs which according to Marx define the socialist mode of production are increasingly urban needs, related not only to production but to the management of space. 3. A complete and detailed project for the organization of life in space, with the largest possible role for self-management, but at the same time with awareness poses as many problems as it solves. This kind of global project, which requires a root rather than program, plan, or model, bears on collective life and can only be collected over, which is simultaneously practical and theoretical. It can depend neither on a party nor on a political bloc. It can only be linked to a diversified qualitative ensemble of movements, demands, and actions. 5. Alternatives. Self-management. It is self-evident that the concept and practice of self-management provide an original response to the problem, first POSed by Marx, of the socialization of the means of production, and that this concept and practice can avoid the difficulties which, since Marx had arisen in the experiment with authoritarian centralized planning. What has to be underlined perhaps is the fact that self-management has nothing magical about it. It is not a panacea. It is posed and still poses, and many problems that it solved. Once it has been proposed as a principle, it still needs to be thought out in the context of both a highly industrialized country and a worldwide situation abounding in new and original tendencies. Self-management does not suppress the class struggle, it can stimulate it. Without self-management, participation has no meaning. It becomes an ideology and makes manipulation possible. Self-management is the only thing that can make participation real by inserting it in a process that tends towards the global. There is a vast self-management problematic. The whole social life of a complex society cannot be transformed without obstacles appearing on the way. If self-management is taken in isolation, that is, it is divorced from its own problematic and from its theoretical project as a whole. It simply becomes a hollow slogan. Out of context, it is empty. The worshippers of the total state economy, for example, may use the self-management thesis, but they are just playing with words. The self-management slogan cannot be isolated, for it is born spontaneously out of the void in social life which is created by the state. It is sprung up in various places as the expression of fundamental social need. It implies an overall project designed to refill the void, but only if it is made explicit. Either the social and political content of self-management is deployed and becomes strategy, or the project fails. The hollow and dangerous, sloganized rather, co-management. Co-management means keeping watch over management in passive contemplation. Confrontation here is limited in advance to a framework which suits management. It is not confrontation with the framework itself. Geo-management is therefore incompatible with self-management. Pseudo-revolutionary reformism can only restore the same management of the same thing in the same institutions with the aid of the interested parties. Self-management, on the other hand, brings about the following things. 1. A breach in the existing system of decision-making centers that manage production and organize consumption without leaving producers and consumers, with the slightest concrete freedom or the slightest participation in making real choices. 2. A risk that it will degenerate or be co-opted into bastardized forms of co-management. Partial or local interests can gain the upper hand over the general interests of society, even in self-management itself. 3. It heralds the process which passes through the open breach and may extend to society as a whole. To limit this latter process to the management of economic affairs, whether in enterprise or in branches of industry, etc., would be wrong. Self-management implies social pedagogy. It presupposes a new social practice at all stages and levels. This process involves the breakup of bureaucracy and centralized state management. It encounters obstacles, market control of the market, overall questions relating to investment, etc. There is no dilemma or option between state centralization and kind of decentralization that would give priority to the partial and the local over the global. This dilemma is part of the ideology of absolute politics of the political and state absolute. J obstacles are not insurmountable, nor are the problems insoluble. They are real nevertheless. The social practice of self-management and the theory of this practice imply the establishment of a complex network of organisms at the base. Both the practice and the theory alter the classic concept of representation and representativity in form of democracy. The multiple interests of the base must be present and not represented. That is not mandated to delegates who are then separated from the base. Real self-management and participation must also be a system of direct democracy, not a formal system but a perpetual and perpetually renewed movement finding its own capacity for organization within itself. The relations at all levels change. The former relations between ruled and ruled, the active and the passive, decisions and frustrations, subjects and objects all dissolve. If this involves disorder, speech prevails over bureaucratic jargon, this is only a major inconvenience for the established order. New technology can deal with the problem of management of the whole. It furnishes new possibilities. The automation of the productive forces at the base and the use of electronic means such as computers and calculators make possible the decentralized management of ascending and descending information as long as they are used to ensure the living away of the state and the bureaucracy and not to strengthen institutions on a technocratic basis. One of the biggest threats to self-management as process is the relapse into corporate interests of, for example, the production unit or the branch of production in its broader sense, which includes the intellectual production of both services and movers. These interests may be thought to surmount particular interests, but in fact they protect them. The university believes itself to be decisive in the transformation of society because it may play a central role in it. This is neo-corporatism. The same goes for architects and town planners, magistrates and judicial power technicians and information specialists, etc. Since all specialized activity is reduced and reducing. Unceasing self-criticism must be the corollary and complement to self-management. Self-management implies self-criticism and a continual effort to alert consciousness both to the relations which exist within the self-managing unit and to the relation between its functional structural limits and the whole society. It is easy on the other hand to see what co-management or autonomy imply. In particular, the autonomy of the university or the faculties and departments can simply mean that they are handed back to the archaics, blindly subordinated to the demands of the market and deprived of critical activity. Pedagogy and knowledge are forced into even muddier ruts than before. Obviously, self-management also brings into play the importance of everyday life. The revolutionary process begins by shaking the everyday and finishes by reestablishing it. What shatters and submerges the everyday is the active subversion of that which constitutes it by separating it from the non-everyday. This dissociation, which we have already mentioned on several occasions, the separation between private life, work, leisure, social and political life, official writings and speech reduced to triviality or rhetoric, break down. Social practice spontaneously frees itself from that which institutes the dissociations, namely the sum total of institutions. This is the meaning of the institutional crisis, which cannot be reduced to a crisis in authority. Confrontation is not directed against authority so much as against the whole society which this authority maintains. Workers do not go on strike because their boss behaves like a father. If they reject paternalism, it is because it symbolizes the social order and makes it failure. They attack this order by directing their fire and attitude which expresses it. Humiliation and apathy, which are the reverse aspect of decision-making power, are as important as authority itself. And this authority weighs down on the everyday which institutes and constitutes as such. In conditions of tension and disorder, uninterrupted speech, which was initiated and literally discovered in the May events, called in question no only the paternalist authorities and bosses, but also the target which is the everyday. The everyday with its repressive implications, its common sense, and the trivial discourse which sanctions triviality itself. This target, this objective, is simultaneously revealed and obscured by the reduced and reducing operation of such activities. It is the maintenance of the everyday and its reduction to passive obedience. Once the process of alienation through speech, street activity and spontaneous disorder began to lessen, the everyday order was reorganized in all its down-to-earth solidity. The problems of order began to appear as problems of the everyday, and the reestablishment of the everyday supported the restoration of the social order. The suspension of the everyday had been defined by some total of absences. No post, no petrol, no transport, etc. It was not simply the living necessities with their networks and circuits, post, petrol, railways, checks, etc., which began to return. It was something much more, the everyday as a whole. Re-rule, exchange value, and the commodity world were restored, along with a few use values. Everyday life is the solid ground on which the structure was built. The structure in turn nourishes everyday life. The process of confrontation strikes and the movement as a whole shakes the ground, but the latter asserts itself once more, along with everything which it supports, the hierarchies, the fictions, the words. The everyday cannot be transcended in one leap, but the associations which maintain the everyday as the down-to-earth foundation of the society can be surmounted in and through a process, the process of self-management. Attentive and detailed study of the May events may yet produce surprises. There were tentative, uneven attempts at self-management, going beyond the instructions which the specialized apparatus handed down. The thing itself appeared, but not the word, the action, but not the thought. Here and there, an assembly of personnel, including the managerial staff, usurped the functions of the supervisors and occasionally touched on the director's functions. This means that the process was begun, but it was not irreversible. Self-management points the way to the transformation of everyday life. The meaning of the revolutionary process is to change life. But life cannot be changed by magic or by a poetic act, as the realists used to believe. Speech free from certitude plays a necessary part, but it is not enough. The transformation of everyday life must also pass through the institutions. Everything must be said, but it is not enough to speak and still less to write. Self-management is a social practice which can overcome the dissociations of everyday life and can create new institutions going beyond those that simply ratify the dissociations. This social practice may have a name, but it cannot be reduced to a way of speaking, left alternative or left alibi. There are certain oppositions which you seem like options or dilemmas, but which have now apparently become out of date. Let us take the question of reform or revolution. It has been demonstrated on many occasions that revolution consists of an ensemble of reforms which have a global aim and result. This possession of the ruling class and removal from it of the means of production and management, director or otherwise, of the affairs of society as a whole. It has been demonstrated also that there are such things as revolutionary reforms, and that any reform which is not utterly insignificant affects the structures of society, that is the social relations of production and property. Is it in fact the case that a choice has to be made between deleting gradualism between the effects of rupture and constructive activity, between violence assault against institutions and activity within them? From the point of view of theory, there is no reason to abandon the strategic principles posed by Lenin. The possibilities for action have to be grasped and united in a dialectical movement. A particular political attitude aiming at the final assault may quite unexpectedly contribute to the institutional and ideological crisis and society's ruin from within. An initially reformist attitude, on the other hand, may simply propose the reform of one institution, for example, the university, and find itself transformed into powerful and effective revolutionary action. This is not to ignore the possibility that choice of means may become necessary. The most profound option, however, seems to be the following one: either reconstitute society as society, or reconstitute the state, either action from below or action from the top down. The analysis which I have attempted here points to the dissolution of the state, a kind of withering away of its power, its strategic capacity, and the ramifications of absolute politics. To this extent, the state self-destructs. The conditions in which it functions, its social base, are undermined, even though its foothold in the economic sphere remains firm. It is the institutions and ideologies, the superstructures upon which the absolute state is erected, that crumble. The option then rests between reconstituting the conditions of the absolute state, whether capitalist or socialist, on the one hand, and on the other hand, constructing new superstructures separate from the state, which has its own separate existence. The withering away of the state, which operates in the form of absolute politics, can be used for the purposes of radical change and redefine socialism. The directing principle is generalized self-management together with its own problematic, unceasing confrontation. And the confusion and disorder which generate a new order, the constitution of a network of base organizations presenting, rather than representing the interests of those groups which constitute the people, and the optimal use of all technical means available, including the scientific treatment of information. What this determines is not a state but a process, in the course of which new problems are posed and must be solved in social practice. Without this perspective, the danger is that not only will economic production be reconstituted, but also the superstructures and structures themselves, which will simply be adapted by means of newly proposed legislation. Perhaps this amounts to a kind of revolutionary reformism that is guided by a theory of global industrial and urban transformation. But what is certain is that reformism, under the guise of revolutionary phraseology, is the most dangerous and outdated of all versions of reformism. What is still called the left, an aggregate of divergent attitudes beneath the appearance of unity, or of convergent attitudes beneath the appearance of diversity, creates a disquieting impression. It has appeared over recent years that the left is unwilling to take power, or is unable to guarantee it, or that it lacks something essential. Its political leaders seem to be afraid of interrupting economic growth. Their conception of the seizure of power follows a rigidly classical plan. The economic crisis begins, the opposition lets several enticing openings pass. Then proposes a program of reconstruction and sits itself comfortably in the command post. It is an outdated plan. The institutional and superstructural crisis in France in 1968 took place without any serious economic depression, though there were symptoms of depression, unemployment, some sectors slowing down, etc. Of course, this left is in a position to take power, but it is badly prepared and knows its own too well. What the left, apart from a few exceptional people, has been proposing for years is the same thing that the government has been proposing, by promising that it will do more and better: a higher rate of growth, fair distribution of national income, etc. It has proposed no new concept of society, of the state. The ruling socialist concept is still that of state socialism, with all its defects, including a prodigious boredom and monstrous lack of vitality, imagination, or social creativity. The left wants something is going somewhere, but it does not quite know what and where. Like state power, it has crushed its own democracy at the base and eliminated mediations. Weak when it is without an apparatus, strong when it has one. The left thus situates itself on the terrain of those against whom it is fighting. An aggregation of demands and measures does not constitute a totality, a revolutionary proposition. It is neither a political subject nor an object. Trade union practice and political practice are in themselves reduced and reducing. What is lacking is a point of view which cannot be reduced to a partial point of view, and in which the global is reduced to the partial, the whole, the total. It is not a generalized individual identified with an institution, a state, or an apparatus. Such notions contain neither a global conception nor a definition of the goal. They indicate no direction. The total, which henceforth has nothing totalitarian about it, can only determine this process with direction. The reconstruction of society as society on its new industrial and urban base. Index: accumulation of capital, the Luxembourg. 108 advertising, 110 agriculture, 10 37 48 82 83 84 115 Alexander Lewis 64 5 76 98 anthropology 69 70 anti Watt. Terry 34 architecture 80 armaments 110 Axel Costas and 71 Argentine 30 Budge Argentine 71 Stein Edward 48 Bismarck 95 Bourdieu 55 Bourgeoisie 11 20 21 36 40.